Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. Got the Lando show on here. We're just gonna come on, talk some ball, see how everybody's doing, see what's going on, see everybody coming into the chat. Y'all know what to do when you get into this chat. Hit that like button. That's how we take attendance over
Smash
here.
that like button.
Smash it. There we go. There we go. Um, so night before, we're both going to the game tomorrow
Heck
in
yeah.
Fort Worth. Very excited. I said this to Tran earlier this week. I've never been to a road game
Have you
for
really
Texas.
not?
Not a true
True road
road
game?
game.
That's not
I've
like
been
a
to
bowl
every other
venue or
environment, not a
Cotton
road
Bowl.
game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're in for a wet one, still looks like. I mean, I don't know. I haven't checked the forecast in the last couple hours. I've been told you, like we talked about, I've been busy working them. So just now got back inside and sat down and chilled out. But I'm guessing it's still gonna be, let me pull it up right now, actually, see what the weather's supposed to do. Still soggy, looks like.
Yeah, I think it was like
As of this morning, it was like between a 50 and 70% chance from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
yeah, I think it's down in the 40s and 50% now.
Mm-hmm.
What's good, everybody? I see everybody rolling in.
Let's say goodbye to Purple Baylor. Oh, I see Texas Homer chiming in there too. He's going to be there tomorrow as well. I'm looking forward to meeting some people tomorrow, man. I haven't really had a chance to see anybody, any members of yours or my community yet. As as small as my community is, but I'm pumped about being there in person tomorrow.
Absolutely. Tenzin, you've been hitting me up all week. You've been hitting me up all week, bruh. I see you out here.
What's up, Tenzin?
What's going on? So, yeah, we don't have any agenda or anything. We're just gonna talk to you guys and
Yeah.
and
Just bro talk.
bounce around some thoughts.
That's
I
what
also
I'm
want
best
to
at.
talk about just college football in general because it is a big weekend.
Huge.
The same time we play, Arkansas and Georgia
Georgia.
play,
Yeah.
and it gives me a perfect opportunity to talk about our wonderful sponsor, BUSR. So shout out to BUSR. Uh, the website here, busr.com/fanatic, the official sports book, official betting partner, Fanatic Perspective. The NFL 100 promo is gone, but we do have a new promo, Sports 100 FP. If you type that in when you go to sign up and for the promotion, it is a 5-time rollover promo, but it's still matching 100 on your deposit. So go to BUSR, check that out. Very important. We're going to be running, I'm waiting on approval, but we're going to be running,
Uh-oh.
I'm teasing this now, we're going to be running a big contest. A big contest. And it's including people that are already have signed up under busr.com/fanatic. So you have to do the /fanatic. If you've already signed up, you have to have an account, you have to be following, you have to be a subscriber. But the contest we're going to roll out, if you check all those boxes, we got something in the works. I'm going to just leave it at that. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So, Maryland's still getting smashed right now. I saw it was like 34-7 at halftime.
Oh my goodness.
So that's interesting. A lot of good games, like I said. So I brought up BUSR because I saw the Arkansas Georgia game. I was able to get in on the action and take Arkansas minus 18.5.
I saw that line. That was so
And I'm
before, I
like,
guess they announced that KJ was, before we knew what his status was. And
And
18
Burks
and a half
was
is, there might not be 18 points scored in that game total. if we're being honest here.
It's down to 16.5.
Okay.
But I got in at 18.5.
18's a lot of points, man.
Early this week.
A lot of
so very interesting.
Yeah,
Guys, I appreciate everybody jumping in and showing love here. It's really cool.
I need to zoom out so I can see the comments too. I just realized
I'll
that.
be hanging out with Landon and Homer tomorrow at the game. We're gonna go and make sure we handle our business and have that. Our boys have that support, that energy on the road.
We owe them a whooping, man. It's they're long overdue for one. That's for sure. I saw Texas Football Talk today in their chat. Did you see? Do you remember like when they were having the whole discussion about the SEC introduction and President Hartzell was in there? They were having like the hearing for that, and then the judge or whatever who was sitting at the desk there in the courtroom, she basically called us out and was like, "So you guys would rather lose to Alabama than TCU, huh?" And then she said something like, 3-7 the last 10 years. Is that right? Or ain't that right? And then she just kind of like looked at him like with one of these faces. Boy, that right there. Hey, talk about bulletin board material, though. I hope Steve Sarkisian has that. I think you talked about this too with Tran and your preview. Just posted. You can't show that stuff enough. Like, bring that energy, man. That's
You're looking. I mean, you're a professional athlete yourself. You're looking for an edge.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's that stuff. I used to overlook that. Back in the day, like you hear all the time, bulletin board material, whatever. That stuff's real though, man. It really is. And I hope Texas starts to take not necessarily pride, but
Preston, $50, $49.99 super chat.
Wow.
Thank you, sir. Thank
PP.
you. Appreciate
awesome.
it, Preston. Thank you for the love, man. Long time subscriber. So yes, Josh Thompson has a concussion.
That's
so he is out.
Darian Dunn replacing him?
Darian Dunn, who I think has been playing. Who I like the way he's played when he's been in there. He's very physical.
Yeah, he in the box, man. He's nasty. He's you feel him, but I don't know how he is in coverage. Really, we haven't really seen a lot of that from any of our defenders or our defensive backs. Really, like we saw, obviously, a couple deep shots get connected and a blowout game last week. That's that type of stuff. It's like you're up so big, you get a little bit too comfortable at times. Maybe that was kind of the case there. But I thought about this today when I was driving. I think I was listening to your show playback on your preview with Tran. BJ Foster, like he was in the position on that first touchdown from the backup quarterback. His name slips my mind right now for Texas Tech, but they threw into to the
Columbia.
Yeah, Columbus. There you go, Columbia. The corner of the end zone. It looked like BJ was there. You can tell me if I'm wrong here, but it was almost like he just misread the ball, or the ball just kind of floated on him a little bit over his head, and he was in position to make the play. He just didn't. It was like the ball skills weren't there at that particular moment in time for him to go and meet the ball at its highest point and come down with it. So I don't know, man. Just small things like that. We talked about for the Cowboys after their most recent win. We got to be nitpicky. We have to critique the small things because, if in order to get where this team and this fan base expects and wants to go, that type of stuff matters, So it's the small things that add up over time.
Good comment by Rob as well on the point about the DBs. And Deshaun Jameson needing to bounce back. We had very high expectations. And Rob, you made a comment, I think it was during my live right after the game. I see exactly what you're talking about when I went back and rewatched the game in terms of going and watching the film. You get a different perspective when you're at the game than when you go back and
Absolutely.
really
you miss out on a lot of nuance. Yeah.
Yeah. So I see exactly what you're talking about, the DBs. And when I said I'm running out of excuses, I gave Deshaun a lot of passes last year and I thought he played okay last season, but he was projected to be all Big 12. This year, he's projected to be all Big 12. We know what he's capable of. We've seen the highlight plays. We've seen the wild plays. We know he's dynamite on special teams. And damn it, I'm tired of him getting knocked out at the 1 and 2 yard line. I'm rooting for my brother to break the record. He's got to play a lot better on defense.
Yeah.
Period. He's got to lock in coverage, and he's giving up deep balls, man. You can't fall asleep at the wheel against Arkansas. You can't let guys run by you. not turning and running fast. He's too fast. He's too athletic to be allowing these things to consistently happen
Right.
when we're expecting you to really be our number one corner, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not, and you're an older guy. So,
He'd been around the
I
block.
can tolerate that if that's Keaton Crawford or Jadae Barron or Jameer Johnson, like some of the younger guys.
Yep.
But
We
for
might see
an
a lot of
older
Keaton Crawford tomorrow
guy,
too.
we've got to increase increase the productivity, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
And great tests coming up here with Tay Barber and Quentin Johnson, all these guys that Max Duggan, you can talk about his accuracy all you want to. They chuck it. They'll chuck it down the field.
That's what they did to us last year. And I was at the game in Fort Worth 2 years ago. The same thing happened. It was like, Texas put together a great defensive game plan. And, Todd Orlando had them bottled up for the entire first half. And the second half turns around. I think Texas had it was like a 17-10 game or something. It was a defensive battle, obviously, the first half. And then next thing we know, it's like Max Duggan just turns into, Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers just connecting on these deep balls. I think Quentin Johnson was the recipient of at least one of those. Or maybe it was Tay Barber. I don't know. It's been a couple years now, but
I think he got one last year. I know Tay was cutting us up on jet sweeps and all the stuff that was, they were going lateral a lot against us last year, and then they would pull it and go. Chris, I'm sorry for the loss in the family. I don't know who passed, but sorry for your loss.
Sorry about that, man, Chris. I hate to hear that for you, bro. Better times ahead. Hopefully we can, serve as a
hopefully
little
we can lighten the mood a little bit.
Brief distraction for you, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some of the younger guys get an opportunity and get real burn. I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
These are good reps that they'll get.
Great reps. And for this stretch, like this stretch of 4 games, it's pretty critical. And getting reps now, depth is key, especially, and as the season continues to roll on. You've got to have that depth, especially at these, premier types of positions. But I was going to ask you, and this is just like discussion for anybody to chime in if they want, just something that kind of popped in my head today. Do you think like depth, for instance, TCU last week against SMU, right? They had quite a few key defensive players missing, and they got exposed on the ground a little bit. Do you think, and I asked this kind of tongue in cheek, but it's depth at schools like TCU, in your opinion, if you're missing a starter, it hurts more at a school like TCU than it does at a school like Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, getting all those guys.
I completely agree with you.
Okay. Yeah. So I wasn't sure if that was just a feel thing or a gut thing or whatever, but having those players, like the team that you see on film a week ago, it's not the team that's going to show up and play Texas tomorrow. And especially, go ahead.
Yeah, so Steve Sarkisian has been very upfront about that. I think in either his radio show or one of his appearances that he did, he was like, we're not expecting to play the TCU team that played SMU. And he's on multiple fronts, right? Because they were missing a lot of guys. Guys are back. We talked about, I think we spent a lot of time in our preview talking about Gary Patterson, how they get up for Texas. They treat it like a bowl game. They treat it like a playoff game, all that, right? But I think what you're talking about in terms of depth, that's what makes college football, creates the tiers. Because anybody can be good with their front 11, their 11 on offense, their 11 on defense. You see that in G5.
Yeah.
The difference, though, is that if I lose a Keandre Coburn, I still have a Tavondre Sweat. I still have a Byron Murphy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? Exactly. That's just what
I
was
kind of. You lose your guy.
Yeah.
You have somebody who's either not ready to go or not very good, right? Or somebody that just got there.
Some replacement level, lower star player. Mm-hmm. I just thought that was kind of an interesting point. Like I haven't heard that mentioned a lot, but a starter being out for TCU it's not the same as a starter being out for Texas. Like more cases. So all that to say this, like there is no excuse about the Josh Thompson missing thing, the corner depth, and we were just hitting on depth. To me, we're finally starting to see players believe what they're being taught and coached and play faster. And I just hope that we continue to see that trend. That's really what I was getting at there. But I look a little bit deeper into most things that more so than I should maybe. So I just thought that was an interesting talking point.
So a couple things to that point. Bijan Robinson hit on that this week in terms of they're still buying more into the system. They're still under, like Bijan made a point about we're still learning how he calls plays during the game, right? Like it's one thing for him to be calling plays in practice or hey, this is what we're going to do in 2-minute drill and all this type of stuff. But just overall game flow, as I start to get a feel for what the defense is doing to me, I feel like Bijan is he articulated, hey, I'm still getting, we're all still adapting. And I think that's why you're seeing the uptick week over week. At least we should, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's really that's really encouraging. Homer hit on the Evans versus Bijan matchup. I wish I spent more time talking about that in the preview because I don't know how many people were subscribed here the day that I made the Zach Evans video when he was in high school and we weren't in his top 5. We didn't make the top 5 or something like that. And we all know they should make a movie or a documentary about his recruitment and how crazy that was.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know how the hell he ended up at TCU, to be honest with you. But he is an extremely talented back. For those who don't know, he made all-decade team for high school for a running back. Zach Evans is the real deal.
He's a stud.
And was that good.
No question.
And he's an electric runner. What'd you say?
I said I'll still take Bijan.
Oh, yeah. Well, the way Bijan, I mean,
they are different, completely different.
They're very different.
Ball carriers for sure.
And Bijan, I think is definitely a more physical, more complete back and has all those things. Zach Evans' special ability is he's got track speed.
I was going to say, I heard somebody mention today, I think it might have been Texas Football Talk. They basically said like they highlighted the main difference that they see is just the long speed,
absolutely
longer duration. Like he's in a straight line. Once he's in space,
once he's in space, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's like half his high school tape, and but Bijan Robinson's going to stiff arm a guy into the ground. He's going to have that lateral ability. I mean, you saw last week where he used somebody tackling him to hold himself up.
Right. Yeah.
You don't even see NFL running backs doing that. Right. Like he's got crazy dynamic and he's gotten bigger in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I feel about bulking up backs.
Man, Torrey Becton, though, by the way, deserves a shout out, but continue.
Oh, for sure. Because I'm all for like what we did to Jordan Whittington a few years ago. You and I are Cowboys fans. You remember when we turned Felix Jones into a bowling ball?
Yeah.
And he wasn't fast anymore?
Oh, my goodness, man.
Stuff like that matters, right? And
it matters.
The good way, as Tran likes to hit on, the body comp, it's very important.
Yeah.
It's very important. So they've done a great job with Bijan. 100%. 100%. But this is a fun matchup. It's a fun
Can we go back? I don't know if you can pull it up, how easy that is for you to do. There was a comment about, you hit on it, I think, the Jatavion Sanders thing, just like wanting to play now, being a 5-star.
Oh, sure. I can go back. I can.
And
that one.
I was also going to I saw somebody mention, I think it was John in here. He said, bring a poncho. I was going to ask somebody at the beginning. I forgot. I meant to swing by. There's a sports store here in Alliance, pretty close to my house. I was going to see if they had any like Longhorn ponchos or something. If anybody has an extra one for me and my wife tomorrow, I'll show up with some cash and I'll be happy to make an even trade. If you guys are going to the game tomorrow, let me know. But so just to that Jatavion point, so he obviously has mentioned, right, he prefers to play offense, right? If he really has to pick, he wants to catch footballs and catch touchdown passes, right? Who wouldn't want to? So just for that, I just wanted to, like, patience is kind of something that's understood, especially when you're learning the tight end position. And you'll hear Steve Sarkisian talk about the importance of that position within his offense. Outside of the quarterback, I would argue that it's, up there, top 2 or 3, as far as just the role that position specifically plays within the offense. They ask a lot of you. So for a guy going from high school, and he's obviously the best athlete on the field at all times. And so it's a little bit easier to kind of just assert yourself in a position that you're not necessarily familiar. That's not your, original spot on the field. But to learn how to block, to learn how to, run block and pass protect, it's 2 very difficult things to master. We even see that at the NFL level. Like, tight ends do not translate very easily from college to
it takes
NFL.
time.
And the same thing is
Dalton
true.
Schultz, the light bulb's just now coming on for Dalton Schultz.
Just now clicking. Yeah. It literally, it takes a lot of time, but it's because you are asked to be, you're almost an extension of the offensive line, right? You're a 6th lineman oftentimes. And then you also have to master, get off from the line of scrimmage, and there's footwork and technique involved in all that, and the route running. So it's difficult, but I would just encourage Texas fans, if they're curious about Jatavion. I think he understands there's a bit of a learning curve, especially in Steve Sarkisian's offense. So won't be shocked if next year we start to see him kind of, grow into himself as a tight end.
So
but he's getting some special teams rep too.
Yeah. I see some comments here about Jatavion that I think are interesting. So I agree, Tommy. He probably would see the field. I mean, you look at what Barron Sorrell's doing right now.
Yeah,
and
maybe
how
so.
often he's been, and he's a true freshman, right? And like, you got Byron Murphy playing already. He would see the field as a defensive player because that's what he's been playing.
Yeah,
it's not. You could put him in a package on defense right away and ask him to do exactly what he was doing at Denton Ryan. So I think in the learning curve, especially when you don't play in the spring, when you don't come in the spring and you come in as a normal enrollee, yeah, it's easier to just go and they put you in the game to rush the passer and play contain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then all the nuance that Landon just laid out, in regards to being utilized as a tight end. Cameron, you said, I'm surprised that he hasn't changed already. I'm assuming you mean back to
he means flip back to, because his next comment, he says a good defensive end changes the game much more than a tight end. I definitely agree. Like, I agree. But getting to the quarterback is king, right? If you can alter the passer, that's,
But Cameron, if you're gonna the player, they let the player pick what he wants to do,
right? Exactly.
And eventually, somebody's gonna have to come in, and if it's not working or if it's not clicking, and say, hey, it's time to go the other way, best for the team, right? But this needs to take time. They can't pull him now. This actually takes time.
Right.
It really does. So
long learning curve.
In my opinion, I think they need to really allow the development process to take place. I think they have time. We need to hit on this 5-star to prove to other people in recruiting. And I want to see him playing more games. I'm not necessarily saying they need a full-blown redshirt Jatavion Sanders, but it's going to, you have to play the long game because of the position that he's playing and what he's learning.
Yep. And it's also, I get the like the kind of the frustration too. Like, he was the headline of the 21 class, right? So people want to see him impact or make an impact early, right? Early and often. So I totally understand that thought process. But I think this is just going to be one where we have to trust, obviously the coaching staff. They've done this before. They understand. At Alabama, it's not uncommon. You see 5-stars come in all the time. They don't play till their junior year.
Great point.
They come in, they play one season and turn themselves into first-round draft picks. It's incredible.
It's funny because I just saw Drew Sanders get on the field for them, the linebacker from a few years ago.
Yep.
And I'm like, I had completely forgot about him. But it happened.
But
you're right.
Remember Noah Kane? I know you remember Noah Kane, the running back from IMG. He's just now, because when he first got there, I think, was Saquon Barkley still at Penn State or no? Miles Sanders definitely was.
Got there. I think it was Miles Sanders at that point. I'm not sure.
So he was okay. Yeah. So I wasn't sure. I know this is Saquon's 4th year now, and I think Noah Cain's a junior. So yeah, it was probably the year after. But I mean, the top tier programs that's what they do. I mean,
And
players
it's not
buy into
everybody. I
it.
mean, like we said, Sorrell is playing right now. Like,
Yeah,
it's easier to just jump in there, especially if you've already been playing DN. Like, I still got to do what I got to do,
yeah.
right? Xavier Worthy, he's been playing receiver his whole life, and Xavier Worthy was recruited to be in this offense. So I agree though. I'm still impressed with him. His ramp time was unbelievable
Mm-hmm.
for him.
They got him going instantly.
He was rolling instantly.
Yeah.
I know I had concerns before the season, like I did with Brennan Schooler and some other positions about, is this a good thing that this person won the job?
Yeah.
I think for him, I think for my man Luke B, I like the way Luke B plays personally.
Yes.
I was skeptical
He's
about
got
it
that
because
dog in him.
I like the way he plays. He seems to have a nose for the ball. I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of people have been asking me this week about other linebackers and them getting some opportunities. And by the way, it seems like they are rotating a lot of guys in there. I
They
do
are.
see, Jalen
Yeah.
Ford, David Benda, Devin Richardson, all these guys coming in. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like what Luke B's giving me. Obviously, we love what Xavier Worthy's given us. The only person where it was like, okay, he's been struggling is Schooler.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing them kind of pivot to Jaron Thompson. We'll
getting
see
some
how
work.
that plays out
Mm-hmm.
throughout the season. But
Which says a lot about Jaron Thompson's ability as just like an athlete and what they think of him as far as what he can be. Because when you have a guy like Brendan Schooler, is this his 6th year in school now? Somebody that knows the game as well as anybody, as obviously playing the wide receiver position, flipping over to the defensive side of the ball. He understands football, and that was kind of he was a key cog. And even Steve Sarkisian referenced that his IQ is kind of off the charts, but I understand he struggled, which makes it much easier for someone like Jaron Thompson to hop on. But
gotta love those LBs with the neck collar.
yeah, yeah, you better be a dog if you're rolling with that neck collar, man. You better be.
I love it.
Hey, you remember how we ended our off-air Cowboys chat? You see that comment? I know you see it right there.
Hold on. Oh. Oh man.
I'll let you handle that if you would like to, but you don't feel like you don't feel obligated.
I mean, would you say?
I said don't feel obligated to if you don't want to.
I mean, we'll get to that later if it comes up.
Back to someone said they brought up Xavier Worthy. I saw it. Okay, there's Evan Stewart again. Yeah. So wait, let me catch up real quick. Somebody said, with the way that we're seeing Xavier Worthy be utilized. I actually tweeted that during the Texas Tech game last week. I said, I hope Evan Stewart is watching closely, very closely to what Xavier Worthy's doing. There's still some big time names out there for this 22 class that we can reel in. And to your question, there's no doubt in my mind that Evan Stewart is watching very closely. Amongst many other names still out there in the 22 class. I think Nino said we have 6 more scholarships available for the 22 cycle.
So what's our scholarship number for?
I think it was 26, but
26.
I could be wrong. Yeah,
I think it's around that number.
Somebody might know. If you guys know out there,
as of right now, because it's always very fluid.
It can be fluid, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said Casey Thompson looks like John Bonney.
John Bonney? That's funny.
Casey Thompson, he does have a somewhat of a resemblance to Danny Green, former San Antonio Spur Danny Green.
I can see that with short hair. Short hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I will say this, though. We were talking about people's pads and stuff. Casey Thompson, I like the way he dresses in terms of on the football field. He looks like he's fast as hell.
He does.
Like he looks like the quarterback that's going to step off on the defense. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a little armband he's been rocking recently or what. He just looks looks explosive. There's certain people that dress a certain way on the football field. He does not I'm sure y'all been following that brother on TikTok that's making all the coaching videos. but it's not like the A&M brothers out there wearing ankle socks that look like they were about to get burned. Casey Thompson's out there suited and booted.
You see a DB wearing ankle socks, like
You see a DB wearing
about
ankle
to toast
socks.
this dude.
That's a reduction of his abilities.
Oh man, that's
he
so
goes
good.
from 94 speed to 85 speed when you see the ankle socks.
Yeah. Oh, he's okay. So he's rocking the shin bands too, the skinny shin bands as well.
Yeah,
Yo,
Casey
for some
suited and
reason,
booted
I've
out
always
there.
loved when quarterbacks rock like the 3-inch band like on their wrist as opposed to tape. They have the actual band. Sam Ehlinger did it a lot too.
Yeah.
I think that's a great look for a quarterback. Man, we could talk about
Yeah,
field swag all day. I love
Agent Zero looked like when he came to the game, he looked like what's that movie with McConaughey and Idris Elba? Was it The Dark Tower or whatever?
Oh,
he looked like
I'm
that
the wrong
dude.
person to ask about movies. I don't watch near enough. I'm out of tune with the
Nah, he had like an all black. He had a cowboy hat. He looked like he had a shotty.
I saw
on
that
him.
picture. Yeah.
He looked like he had a shotty on him, man. Like I was like, damn.
Oh, you talk about like the
old
Western, like old Western style, like riding their horses, pulling up to the
Marvin was faking out here. Somebody say he looked like Django.
Django, yeah. That's actually it. Do you think we beat OU? Oof. So I have a good buddy of mine that we've been planning this for a while now. I don't even know if I should say the name of the podcast, if it's like copyright or whatever. It's not even like a thing yet, but he's got some interesting thoughts on that. I might put together a video with him and talk about the OU matchup. But we got to get through TCU first and foremost. That's all I can think about right now.
Yeah, I'm not taking any OU questions unless y'all want to talk about Kansas State.
Yeah.
And because in all seriousness, both teams right now, and I know OU still ranked, what are they still ranked 6 or whatever? They don't look like a top 10 team right now. They have questions they need to answer this week. And they lost, didn't they lose to Kansas State last year? They did. Lost to them 2 years ago. They've got their own set of things in Manhattan that they need to get together. And we have questions about, can we replicate what we've been doing at home on the road? Can we take care of our Gary Patterson issues? So I'm going to have some OU people on the channel next week.
Yeah.
Announcement. We're going to be doing a lot of cross stuff.
Yep.
But in all my OU chats with the other OU content creators, we've agreed we ain't talking about it until both teams play this Saturday. We have an idea of what we want to discuss, but like in terms of prep, we're not doing any prep until both teams play.
I haven't written down anything because I can't just bypass a week. Like, we're not good enough yet to do that. We got to take care of business first. First things first. So I'm with you. I'm with you there totally. K-State.
Somebody said, let's go Kansas State. That's funny.
So I actually want OU to win tomorrow so that, and I want the matchup to be just to have as much hype as it possibly can going into the Cotton Bowl. But
yeah, Skylar Thompson's out, and it sounds like they could be playing their third string quarterback. I'm not sure, but that's a tall task for Kansas State because they're not the same team. They're not the same team without Skylar. We saw they were night and day last year.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure.
When he went down. But yeah, we got to handle both teams. They got to handle their business tomorrow before we start. I don't want to say looking ahead or anything like that, but like we all know October 9th is our rivalry game. We get that, but
yeah.
And I was talking to Homer on the phone earlier today, and I mean we both agreed like this is the biggest game so far this season where we can gather the most data about this team.
True serum,
straight up.
Yeah,
straight up. So Diego asked, biggest concern tomorrow. I mean, we've been hitting on the DBs.
Mm-hmm. I would say that's probably my answer, especially without Josh Thompson. So, he's out with the concussion. So we'll be seeing a lot more Darian Dunn, probably a little bit more Keaton Crawford. Not exactly sure what the game plan is there, but yeah, Max Duggan has actually had a lot of success throwing the ball deep against us the last 2 years. So I would like to see that get corrected.
And quarterback run.
Quarterback, right? That's
And quarterback run has been now I think they've been better at it. I think they've been better with defending quarterback run this season.
Mhm.
It hasn't been. I mean, now outside of the KJ Jefferson thing was different because of the scheme.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, I don't think it's been crazy.
Right.
But whoever said on Twitter is still making me laugh when he called Max Duggan. He's like, the guy turns into Roger Staubach when he
yeah.
and we do have to
tweet.
Oh, man, we got to make guys look like what they're supposed to look like against us.
Yep.
So
no doubt, man. This again, not trying to get ahead of myself here, man, but this was something that, and a lot of your viewers in this chat right now, they're new to my channel too, but it's something I talked a lot about before the season started, right before the Louisiana matchup. And I was just hoping to see the difference that a solid, a coaching staff makes. And we're already seeing that kind of transpire. And one thing, so I listened to Gary Patterson's conversation as well, like his press conference today. And I heard him talk about Texas in a way that I never have. And, he absolutely hates Texas with every ounce of his being. Like, this is object. It's game number one on his list of importance every single year for TCU. And I think even Gary Patterson would admit that. But he mentioned special teams and just seeing like that's the telltale sign as, seeing if a team is really, it's got that it factor. How hard do they play on special teams? How well coached are they on special teams? How disciplined are they? And I think, what we have, are we the fourth least penalized team in America right now?
I think we're in the top 5. I don't know if are we 4?
I thought it was 4.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but just, that type of thing. And hearing coaches praise our special teams, like that's something that you don't see a coach hone in on that and come at you from that angle when he's having his own press conference talking about your team. It's like, he's talking about the quarterback. He's talking about, in our case, Bijan Robinson, right? Those are the sexy headline names to throw out there as far as how do you slow them down if you're TCU. But Gary Patterson talked about special teams, and I thought that was just super, super interesting. So credit to Jeff Banks, man. He's had a big part in this too. And just pay attention to that type of stuff. It matters.
It definitely does. We're getting there on special teams.
Yeah.
I know some people have hit me up this week about Cameron Dicker and concerns there, just because he hasn't had a whole bunch of work the last few weeks. But I mean, at this point, same thing I hit on with Deshaun Jameson. I need my veterans to play like veterans. He's a veteran. Play like it. In regards, though, to just the overall vibe of, coaching and whatnot, and the matchup of with Gary Patterson, what he brings to the table, I really feel as though, when Gary really goes, I think part of that is he goes into the film as a football mind. He's like, I'm seeing something at Texas is looking, there's things that are impressing me.
Yeah, exactly.
There's things that are really impressing me. And
he feels it too. I know he does.
Doesn't stop, in terms of the hatred and all the preparation and whatnot, but game recognized game.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's a big part of.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, game recognized game. And I think people are starting to see some things schematically. I mean, look how good Texas has been on third down. Look at some of the plays they've run on fourth down. Their red zone offense has been phenomenal.
Yes.
Texas red zone offense is phenomenal.
Yep.
That's another reason why you don't see Cameron Dicker. We don't need him. We're scoring touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the packages they have, see, the one thing Casey Thompson, especially with his legs, red zone's awesome. Then I can go to my Roshan Johnson package. Red zone's awesome. Somebody was asking us about When's he going to throw out of it? When a team makes him throw out of it,
Uh-huh.
if people are going to keep lining up the way they line up, you run that thing with the extra blocker.
We keep averaging, getting 6-7 yards a clip on the ground. What's the point?
Yeah.
You don't have to throw it.
You don't have to throw it.
But yeah, I'm actually glad you brought that up too. I would love to see a little bit more Roshan in the backfield, especially in the red zone tomorrow against a team that we know, as traditionally pretty good as far as slowing down teams' aerial attack. But, like we talked about too, like one of our favorite guys last year in the draft as Cowboys fans, we loved our Darius Washington. That's an NFL player from TCU's backfield from a year ago that's no longer there, or defensive backfield, that is. And then obviously Trevon Moehrig. I think he ended up going on a date. Was he a day 2 guy? I know he had a first-round grade. Like a lot of people had him as.
What round did Moehrig go?
I don't remember.
I think he was day 2.
I think he was a day 2 guy as well. But either way, those are two very. Actually, if you listen to Jeff Kavanaugh, he had our Darius Washington as his top graded safety as well.
I love
he ended up going undrafted because of his size. That was the biggest knock on our Darius, but good football.
Brendan Offerman, thank you for the $10 super chat. You said 56-35 Texas Hook'em.
Brendan's 56, taking, man. Hey, if we see 56 tomorrow, you'll know. We know we're something serious then if that happens.
It could happen. Over.
It could happen. I haven't said this yet. I was saving it for later, but I think because I try to be as objective, but also as non-wishy-washy when I'm on here as possible, especially on my channel too. So I like to come out and just be straight up with it, right? I think Texas wins big tomorrow, but that's just my unexpert opinion.
Why?
I can't really describe. A lot of it has to do with the coaching staff and what I talked about, just what we're seeing from special teams. Like we're seeing the culture change kind of right before our eyes. And personally, I think after being embarrassed on national television in Fayetteville, I think that we saw we don't win conference games the way that we won last week. Like the dark decade of Texas, these last 10 years, that doesn't happen. And to me, you just see a statement like that when you control a game completely. Like, when's the last time you actually sat and watched a Texas game and didn't really have to worry about it? Especially
against
a
conference. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. To me, it feels different. I can't really necessarily explain why. I laid out some of the things again, like with the coaching staff. Like everybody loved Tom Herman, right? We were saying before Tom Herman was brought in, and I hate to go back, like continue harping on the past, but just to kind of make my point clear here, our talking point, the way we attack that angle of yes, we got Tom Herman was what was it? It was LSU wanted him. That was our validation. That was how we validated that move for more or less, right? When you see a coaching staff made up of members with a resume like this one is made up with, everybody can't, like, you've got predominantly Alabama, University of Alabama. That's Steve Sarkisian's staff along with Pete Kwiatkowski. Tom Herman, it was predominantly the University of Houston.
Good old G5 coaches.
So I said this again too recently. I don't remember who or where, but I was like, I've learned as a fan. I've tried to separate bias and look at things objectively, and that's part of the learning curve. As a fan, you go through lulls and ebbs and flows of with your teams, and you start to learn what really matters, what's really not important. And to me, the coaching staff is just like, it's different to me. So I don't know. I got that gut feeling, man. We'll see. Talk is cheap.
I want to get to 2 comments here. Brendan, thank you for the $10 super chat. So it looks like what you're saying kind of falls in line with what Landon's talking about, right? In terms of our guys going off. You gave the big prediction. I think this falls right in line with what Landon was just saying. One of my best friends is in this chat, who's not a Texas fan, but He's here to support me, my friend Jeff.
Shout out to
So
Jeff.
Jeff and we have a friends group chat. Jeff and I are friends from college, and the train is. We have a slogan called "The train is that train's never late," and essentially what that means. And Jeff wants me to add this segment, so I'll explain the idea. There are certain things in sports, and this came up while we were watching Jacksonville and Cincinnati. But there are certain things in sports that we've noticed that no matter what, this is going to happen. You can book it. That train's never late.
You talked about this. I remember this.
I remember this. So Jeff had submitted in our group. So we have a running tally of things on the list within the realm of sports on that train's never late. And Urban Meyer is on the list in terms of, at some point, old boy is going to say, I can't keep losing like this. I got a heart issue. I got a neck problem.
My head hurts.
My head hurts. and Urban Meyer, when you hear the news that he's done, we get to say that train's never late. Mm-hmm. And so there's just certain things in sports. Tom Herman could have been on that list with a multitude of things that you could just predict before. I don't even need to watch the game, and I know that XYZ occurred because it so consistently happens. So just think about that. Jeff, chime in. Carson Wentz. That was another one.
That's what I was laughing at. I was laughing at that comment. Hey, I could roast Carson Wentz on here for a long time. Not like as a person. I love Carson the person, but the player, it's just, oh God, he drives me crazy, man. I think he could be so good.
Thank you for the $5 donation. Yeah, we definitely having frog legs for breakfast tomorrow. Let's bring that energy.
Hey, speaking of which, what time are you planning on getting to the stadium tomorrow?
I think like 9:30.
That's what we're planning on too. Do you know where your seats are yet?
I think 230, 235, section 235. I think
I'm in 232.
You're in 232?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm section 235.
I'll go double check that.
Around the 40-yard line.
Yo, so I keep seeing Carson's name on here. I just thought it was so fitting, man. How hilarious is it that
how you sprain both ankles though?
That's what I'm saying. How crazy is that? That there is literally the Eagles have a first-round draft pick on the line that quite literally depends on the health of Carson Wentz and how many snaps he plays. If he logs a 75% snap share in Indianapolis, the Eagles get a first-round pick in exchange. This dude sprains both, not one ankle, but two. Oh my gosh, man. I've never heard that before. I hate to laugh because I'm an athlete and I know weird stuff happens, but I'm also a Cowboys fan and I have to root for the Eagles to have as little of draft capital as possible, especially because they already have 2 first-round picks next year. So, I mean, I'm praying for Carson Wentz to not have 75% of the snaps. I don't know about you, but that's all I'm saying.
So we got a question, $5 super chat donation, Lax Max. Thank you. Jalil Skinner, number 1 tight end. Do we have a chance and potential fit in this offense? Mr. Skinner is a very, very talented young man. And with us, we just had the conversation about Jatavian Sanders. Yep. Now, Skinner is more of a traditional tight end from what I see on film than what Jatavian was being asked to do. Jatavian was a receiver at Ben Ryan. There was no blocking or anything going on.
None.
So I do think it's interesting, though, in terms of the importance that Sark has put into tight ends. I don't know what the latest is in terms of like crystal balls or anything. I keep up with recruiting during the season, but it's not as priority.
I can tell you 1 second.
For me, so I don't know what the crystal ball situation is there. But I do know if this offense keeps humming and you have 70-point games, you're going to have all these recruits' attention.
That's what I was talking about, Evan Stewart. He's watching. Trust me.
Right.
Yeah, he's definitely paying attention. Great point, Steven, by the way. I don't think I can scroll back. Somebody mentioned would love to see a huge collab with like all of us. And we're all in the same chat outside of YouTube, and we communicate on a fairly frequent basis. There it is right there from Tenton Mosley Photography. I appreciate you saying that, man. That's something that we actually have talked about for quite some time now. For whatever reason, though, we're all just on such different schedules that it's tough to really all be on the same page. But I'm definitely not opposed to getting that together. I would love to just have a session kind of like we're doing right now. Just everybody just expressing their thoughts and on the current state of the game, and just bro talk, man. Talk about ball. I would love to do that. So definitely something we can try to make happen in the near future.
Brendan, thank you for all the super chats, man. We appreciate it, man. Really, really do.
Oh wow.
It's very meaningful. So thank you. We'll bring that heat tomorrow. Rob H. Yeah, they're gonna have to put some weight on Skinner wherever he goes. I do agree with him being. I agree with the comment about him being more of a flex.
He's got a nice,
but he does still have more
frame,
traditional experience.
Yeah,
as a tight end than Jatavian, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But Jatavian has the body, right?
Big body,
Jatavian's
wide
big.
body, wide bodies. So everything here is just kind of says warm interest for Alabama, Miami, Texas, and Clemson. I'm not seeing a crystal ball, at least the most recent one. Okay, here we go. I'm seeing a lot of Clemson.
Rat poison type question. All right, so this is Odd Futures asking about. So next week, brace yourselves for the Casey Thompson storyline with OU, because OU fans, it's a weird relationship with them and Casey, because he's blood. And, not only is he, his father and what his father did at OU in the late 80s, but he played high school football in Oklahoma. And those people are very, very familiar. And you have people like RJ who've clearly been rooting for Casey, going back to Sam Ellinger. Video RJ and I did last year when he's like, I want Casey Thompson to be the guy. There's a lot of Oklahoma people that feel that way about Casey Thompson. So it's very, very interesting to see what's playing out currently with him at Texas, and if he can continue to have the production. Now, if he turns out, if this starts to turn into a Mac Jones situation like last year, where he just goes on this crazy run, and but we have to see all that, right? Like, we got to start with, he hasn't played a true road game yet. He hasn't played Gary Patterson. He hasn't played OU yet. So we've got to hit these steps first, and he's got to pass them, or we've got to assess things before we really deep dive into questions like this. I don't mind the question, but there's just a lot of steps before we
get
to.
It's a lot to unpack. Yeah, for sure. It is a fair question though. Hey, can we
Jim Smith, thank you for the donation. You guys are in a giving mood. I need to start doing more Friday Night Lives.
Hey, Friday Night Live. Here we are. Sign me up. This is fun though. No, I really enjoy this type of stuff, man. Tyler McKenzie, say that again for the people in the back, please, sir. Make it rain on us, because that paragraph right there is kind of what I was trying to. I go on these weird tangents. So if you guys are new to hearing me talk, just know that my mind goes 1,000 miles per hour, and I'm trying to get better.
Before you address this comment,
go ahead.
I don't have a timetable on Jadae Barron. If somebody else does, let us know. Make sure you're accurate. But I don't have a timetable. They can sometimes be a little nebulous when it comes to college football injuries, by the way.
Yeah.
I will put up Tyler McKenzie's comment on the screen, though. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. I was pretty much finished. That is what I was trying to say earlier when you asked just on my feeling on why I feel like the game tomorrow is another pretty significant, substantial win for as far as the score is concerned. Big win. Yeah, man, that's it. That's the tweet. That one right there. Thank you, Tyler McKenzie.
Green Valley was good. Hey, quick. I'll get the chats back on the screen. Do you guys like the chats being on the screen, or do you like them off the screen and more of our beautiful faces? Y'all let me know if you like the chats being on the screen.
Can y'all see
I
it on
like it
my?
because it's easier to see for me to see them. So
I got like heat rash, some kind of. I broke out in hives today. I was out doing the yard work. I got
oh
stung by a
no.
wasp, almost smashed my index finger, and then I got hives all over me. I don't know if y'all can see that. Got a weird camera view going on, but yeah, our beautiful faces and my banged up body, I guess, is what Steve was trying to say. Anything else that we're forgetting to touch on, man? I mean, I could sit here for literally 3 hours and talk all night.
So I want to bring this up before we Drew Adu. Thank you for the donation.
What is he saying? Woot.
People just
I don't even know what that means, but that's funny.
no, what was I going to get to? Oh, by the way, shout out to BUSR. Make sure they have a new promo going on. Sports 100 FP 5-time rollover promo. It starts today, so you can hit that. BUSR.com/fanatic. We have a contest coming, a big contest coming that I will announce details soon once everything's approved. We got the T's and C's. But once that's done, the contest I think is going to run for about a month, and it will include people that have already signed up on busr.com/fanatic. So if you've already, since we announced this partnership a month ago, if you signed up day one and you qualify for other gates, you're in the contest. So I'll announce those details once they come. There were some other comments I wanted to get to.
I've seen a lot of funny. I'm honestly having fun just reading everybody what everyone has to say.
Oh, absolutely.
This is awesome.
This is a great suggestion. I've seen what Texas Platinum has done, and I like it.
What did they do? I haven't even seen it.
I don't know if it's from cameos or what, but they have different players saying the channel name at the beginning. It's really dope.
What?
They had BJ
That's
Foster.
sick. Heck yeah.
They had Josh Thompson.
That is sick.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So no, ideas like this are good because I never officially had an intro. So
yeah, we got to make that happen then somehow.
I know. I've been on YouTube for a minute now. Still no real. I mean, we have our BUSR intro now, but we don't have a real channel intro yet. So
yeah,
I like the suggestions. I appreciate it. Drew with another super chat. Y'all going off tonight.
He said, I don't know if you saw his comment a second ago. He said, if we win tomorrow, he'll be in a much more charitable mood than he even was tonight. I think we can all say that too, man. That's no doubt about it. Big win tomorrow. Let's go, man. Freaking ready.
Oh no! Look, Green Valley. Good point. We talked about the RBs earlier. I want to get. Let's. This is a good point, though.
Yep.
Both guys. It's kind of like when Elite 11 guys play each other, and there's a camaraderie, but it's also like we're competing against each other, right? And so Bijan and Zach Evans, where Zach Evans was unquestionably the number one back until the very end, Bijan Robinson passes him out of Arizona. And at that time, people had a lot of questions about that because Zach Evans, everybody loves Texas 6A high school football, and North Shore is one of the signature schools. And this kid from Arizona who we're not really sure what league he plays in, and look at the people on film he's competing with. How can you rank this kid that's 6A? How can you bring him down? But we saw the justification with how Bijan Robinson has started off his college career, right? And Zach Evans, to be fair, he's had problems where he's been a head case at times, where it's or a lot of drama or things going on. So Whereas Bijan Robinson is the signature face and spokesman of the program. Zach Evans, didn't he get suspended the beginning of the first game for TCU? Like they said he couldn't start or something. Like there's always like something going
Yeah.
on. Now I pray for the brother that he matures and everybody grows and develops and matures at a different rate. And clearly he's still balling.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're both going to be. I think they both are going to be trying to prove. Not that that's like the biggest motivating factor, but when Zach Evans is on the field, Bijan Robinson is going to be watching him. When Bijan Robinson is on the field, Zach Evans is going to be watching him.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. If y'all, that's so okay. So if you just watch like the NFL mic'd up every week, the NFL puts out their mic'd up series on YouTube, and it gives you just such a great feel for the camaraderie that the players have, but also how like the way that they just kind of watch the game, like when they're when they're on the sideline, they watch games on the big screen, and their instant reaction when somebody makes a cool play, even if it's not for their team. They're always watching. They're always trying to learn new stuff from other people, from their peers, right, within the league. And that's definitely going to be happening tomorrow with Bijan and Zach. They're going to be trying to outdo each other. It's like it's a show. They know it's a talking point. They know each other. Like with the rankings, we talked about the 1 versus 2 thing in high school. Yeah, I'm sure Zach Evans probably has a little chip on his shoulder. I mean, sure, but they'll definitely be paying attention to each other tomorrow. So, but as far as like that impacting the game or impacting their play on the field, I don't really think it does has that, but they'll be trying to one up each other for sure, I would imagine.
Look like some of the feedback in the chat is that you guys
like the chat.
You guys like the chat on the screen, so I'm cool with it because that's easier for me.
This whole platform is sick, man. I'm a big fan. You can do all kinds of different graphics in the background too. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. I need to. Somebody was complaining about I've had the same background for a while, which I have. So I asked that person that was complaining to make me one. I haven't heard from him yet. So
hush mode.
I think I got this one from Matt Lang. So you guys,
the actual the OG for what's his title right now at Texas? He's like the media dude or the graphics, like whatever, all their social media stuff, production. Big time.
We have a lot of good people on the team. People talking about maturity and these NIL deals and whatnot. And I mean, it's to me, it's long overdue. Guys getting what we live in a great society where you should be able to get paid and compensated for your gifts or your talents.
Yeah, and absolutely. I wish I could go back in time, get paid for my talents and talent.
Lando be out here with a spokesperson at the car dealership.
Yeah, man. I'll be doing something. I'll be doing something,
yo.
I'm working like 8 part-time jobs right now just to make money in the off season. So it is what it is, though.
But we have like Roschon Johnson and Bijan Robinson are not only teammates, but they're in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
And those are incredible people.
Yep.
Like, take football away for a second. Bijan Robinson, student athlete of the week a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think Roschon's in McComb's business school, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, I apologize. But I think he's in the business school program. Tope Amade.
Yep.
Genius.
Yep. IQ off the charts.
Ojimo, genius.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Thompson, Hudson Card. Great people, like great kids, right? Kids, people that have real personality. I just like the makeup of the team. Tom Herman gets credit for that, by the way.
Absolutely.
A lot of these guys were his recruits, right?
Mm-hmm.
DeMarvion Overshown. We've seen, even guys that are not here right now, when we got to meet Caden Stearns, I was so impressed. It's good people.
Yep.
Good dudes. Hayden Connor,
That's right. I forgot you did that interview.
He's going to have some barbecue NIL deals, all over the place. There's some sort of cooking deal, right? Like that guy looks like he's going to be in the culinary field after football at some point, right?
Yeah.
Like Stutter.
That's so sick, man.
But just seeing these kids and their interests and whatnot.
Yeah, it's cool. It really is cool.
It's really, really dope. It's really, really dope.
Yeah, that's awesome. You get to like you had that interview with Stearns a while back. That's cool that you get to see. That's my favorite thing about the NFL mic'd up. You get to see these players. Like I said, a lot of times as fans, we're guilty of, we kind of depersonalize these players, dehumanize these players. We only care about the production and what they do for our fantasy teams and how they're playing on the field, right? But when you actually get to know these kids, in this case, like for Texas, and you're speaking with Caden Stearns, it just gives you a whole different level of appreciation for what they really do, what they're really tasked with on a day-to-day basis, being student athletes at the University of Texas, the amount of weight that carries. Most people can't even imagine that. So that's cool that we're acknowledging that stuff now, especially like with the NIL.
Yeah.
That stuff, I have a lot of thoughts on that. I'll spare the chat and the video for time's sake, but maybe something that I can talk about in the future because I kind of lived through it a little bit on the negative side for me, right? And especially seeing how things change now, what could have been, right? So pretty passionate about that topic.
And for those who don't know, go subscribe to the Lando show.
I appreciate that.
That's why he's here talking with me, and we've been talking further, and Landon's become a very good friend of mine, and excited to go to the game with him tomorrow. But more importantly, the content and how he breaks things down, and your perspective as a current athlete, as a former college athlete, now as a professional pitcher in baseball. I'm really, I always look to see, you're big on sports psychology. You're big on
very, very much so.
All those things. So please, please, please go check him out. Also follow him on Twitter.
Yeah.
And
I'm pretty active on Twitter too, especially during the games. But tomorrow obviously will be a different case because we'll be in attendance. But yeah, man, I'm trying to get better. I'm still relatively new. I'm learning the ropes, but people like you are certainly huge influences and help along the way. So it doesn't go unnoticed either, man. I really appreciate it. But this type of stuff, this is what we do. Like, when we get together tomorrow, it's going to be this, like, you just elevate everyone in the chat, bring us to Eamon Carter in Fort Worth. That's literally what we're going to be like tomorrow. Like, this is us. So I really appreciate that and respect that.
Yeah, I like Xavier Worthy when he talks on his show.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, he's funny in a very like quiet, but like quiet, serious manner. But what he's saying is hilarious.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed how he handled the Big Play Zay nickname stuff this week, because he's like, who said that? Who called me that? Yeah, like he's all over. Rob H, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, aerospace. I can't even say it.
Oh my gosh,
brilliant guys, man, brilliant guys, and somebody who also is nasty as hell on the football field.
Yeah,
right. Like half his huddle film was him just
bullying people, forklifting dudes, like this. Here, I'm moving you now. Here we go. Time to go.
Landon's Twitter handle is the Lando Show. I think. Let me put it up here again.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out and inquiring, Kyle. I appreciate that, man. I'll hit the follow back button too, guys. If y'all want to hit me up on Twitter, I'll definitely follow back.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the mood tonight as well.
Let's
make this happen.
What's the other thing? What year did you play? Or somebody's asking about your baseball stuff.
I was in college I went to like 3 different colleges, man. 13 to 12 to I graduated in 2017, and then I played with the Brewers my rookie season out of college, and then this past year I was in 2019. I was in New York playing for the Boulders. It's independent ball. I don't know if most people probably don't understand the difference between independent ball, but basically it's all kind of the same. Like indie ball now is a bunch of dudes that got cut during COVID because the MLB basically cut down a bunch of their their roster.
Yeah.
And actually there's one level. I think it was like there's no such thing as there's no high A anymore, if I have that correct. So basically high A got eliminated. So one level of minor league baseball is gone. So now there's just an influx of just a bunch of dudes that got cut last year during COVID, all in independent baseball. So I played this year in the American Association, had a lot of success, played really well. It finished the season healthy, which is the most important thing. So talk with my agent, and I obviously he's got a good feeling about this offseason. If I can put together some good numbers and send it out, then I got a good shot at getting picked back up again. So back into the minor league ranks. But it's good baseball here. By far the best competition I've played.
Good.
So
yeah, I saw I was watching some of your games because your family is so proud of you, and your family live streams them on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I was watching
Man.
you pitch.
I know. That's so cool. It really
I
is
was watching
cool.
you pitch on Facebook through your family.
How hard is it to get called up to an MLB roster? It's damn near impossible, to put it frank. I mean, to be completely honest, it is damn near impossible. But I've come this far, man. I can't stop now. So just keep picking one leg up, one foot in front of the other, keep rolling. So I'm close. I'm definitely close. I know that for sure. But yeah, to your point about I appreciate that, Jeffrey. Thank you, man. Thank you. The support that my parents have given me, like I wouldn't still be able to play baseball without their support. Like even through college, like financially, right? There's a lot of things that they sacrificed for me, that I wouldn't have been able to do. And they were driving about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes to and from every single one of my home games, even at the very beginning of the season. Well, I missed the first 40 games of this year. I think you know that, but most people probably don't. And I don't want to make this about me, but we're talking about baseball, so I can get tied up here too. But man, they were at every single game, even when I wasn't active. I was on the injured list for 40 straight games, and they were there. They didn't care. Like they just want to support me, whether I'm playing or not. So I get kind of teared up talking about just. It's been a long journey for me, and I've always kind of been climbing an uphill battle in baseball. I was just a really good athlete, but I wasn't a good pitcher. And unfortunately, I like to tell people it's a joke, but I hit my way to the mound in college because I wasn't a good enough hitter to hit at the Division I level. So I had a projectable body. So I trusted the people that I was around a lot with baseball, saying, hey, you should become a pitcher. You have, a pretty high ceiling, a projectable body. So I trusted that, and it took a lot of time. Didn't pitch at all my freshman year. Got to D1 schools, didn't play a lot either. Ended up having to transfer. Wasn't good enough to play at Texas, so I'm still salty about that. I'm still that still drives me to this day. But yeah, man, been a fun journey.
That support matters. I met Alfred Collins. I believe it was his father, who's a mountain of a human being.
I can imagine.
And I met him at the game this past week, and he was just so happy to be there, to see it. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like he was just like, I was like, hey, I love your son, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and he's like, just the biggest ear to ear smile, like, and
so
that's
cool,
one thing
man.
that people, the work that parents put in. When we did the Caden Stearns podcast, his mom was the one that drove up with him from San Antonio, and his mom was so freaking cool, and just, I could see that was, that's her, yeah, and he has a lot of brothers and sisters, by the way.
Yeah.
But the focus and involvement, and and he's now a professional athlete. Shout out to Caden, got an interception in the Jets
Oh yeah, I
Broncos
saw
game.
that. Yeah, I saw that. He did.
Yeah, he got his first career in an NFL interception. He's healthy. He's looking good. But the parents matter, and that's a big part of what goes on. So that's how you have a lot of you have commented before and said you've met Bijan's people at
Yep.
games, and like people just being blown away by like, oh, I see why Bijan's the way he is because I see the parents.
Right.
Parents are, that's something that coaches pay attention to in recruiting. And
For sure, no question. The
that
family,
involvement, how you were raised, all those things.
that was the first thing I heard of about Bijan actually when after his whoever it was that ended up recruiting him from Herman's staff was in his living room. That was the report like from their visit with Bijan was how the character just beaming with character and integrity. Man, it's cool.
That was also the brief period of time where we had Brian Carrington as the 10th coach, and he was able to go on the road. Brian Carrington was in that room and Tim Beck was the one, I believe, that had a lot of the Arizona connections too. So I think it was Tim Beck, Stan Drayton, Tom, and Brian Carrington.
Mm-hmm.
But Tim Beck had the connect.
I miss Brian Carrington. That was a cool guy.
Mistaken. So a lot of good recruiting.
Yeah, I saw. Where was the other comment right there? A bunch of people saying keep working. I appreciate the support, guys. Seriously, thank you.
Going back to the game though, the weather, it's 50-50 right now. May not be too bad. I mean, we both live up here, and the weather's been shifting around. It was
clear skies most of the afternoon today, from what I saw. I mean, we got a brief period of rain. Actually, I was in Fort Worth for a doctor's visit with my wife. But yeah, I mean, it rained for like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so. Everything else has been clear skies today. So hopefully that's the case again tomorrow. Do you think? Okay, let me ask you this, Steve, and the chat too. You guys, let me know. Do y'all think a wet game favors or hurts Texas more? Like, what do you think is more of a, like, if all things are equal, right? And if one condition is wet, one game is dry. Which one do you think Texas fares better in? Like, for this specific matchup, I've got my thoughts, but I'll let you guys take it away.
I do think it favors, as long as there's no delay.
Mm-hmm.
I think
like
it favors
lightning. You mean?
Yeah. Because any type of delay, lightning delay, you're sitting. You don't want to sit in a visitor's locker room for.
True. Yeah.
There's
I lived through that. I was in Maryland or in.
You were there for that game.
I was at that game. Yes.
Yeah.
FedEx Field, man. Home of the. Never mind. I don't think I can say what I'm about to say on here. Anyways, yeah, I was there, and that was a momentum changing rain delay or lightning delay for sure. It's crazy. I was sitting in that concourse, man, with thousands of people, just like, dear God, please, can we just get back on the field?
Delays suck. Game? You don't want to run into that. Rob, I did see Mr. Washington's exchange with Del Conte. For those who did not see it, because I saw some people asking, he essentially tweeted his gratitude and thankfulness for Marcus being at Texas, because where they come from, I believe it's in St. Louis, Missouri. It's very rough. It's very rough, and hey, don't I want to get my kids out of this environment, and not on the streets, and not just protected. He's like, dude, I'm just grateful that he can be at a great school and a great place. I know he's around other great kids.
Yeah.
I know he's around other kids that have been raised right. And so you essentially, everybody hits up Del Conte for dumb shit. And we had a parent hit up Chris Del Conte to say thank you.
That's cool.
For the environment. So that's that I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially the nature of what was tweeted.
Mm-hmm. It's also, speaking of Chris Del Conte, it's a big game for him tomorrow too. I know he's ready for this one. So I like where is it? Abel 318. I like what he says. The rain helps the game with DBs down in our running quadrant. Agreed, 100%. And then somebody followed that up with Texas, because the Horns are 4 deep at RB. But that was my main thought. Is as good as Max Duggan has been against us, I trust Casey handling a wet ball more than I trust Max Duggan. Just as a if I were to be completely unbiased, which I'm obviously not, but I think Casey just has a little bit more ball control, from what I can tell. Duggan obviously prefers to run it if he can a lot of times. So Casey for Heisman, huh?
Hey, Casey, what's funny is he made the preseason. I think it was either the Maxwell or the Davey O'Brien, whatever the quarterback one is. I think it's the Davey O'Brien one, but he made the list, and then everybody was kind of laughing. Well, not the Casey Thompson stands, but there were people that were laughing because they're like, man, he hasn't even won the job. And then he didn't win the job to start the season. But Texas still still tweeted it out like, hey, this guy's on the watch list. And now, as the world turns, right, here we are. Yeah. And I say that to say this: if he passes this test and he plays the same Casey Thompson football that he's only shown on the field at Texas, he put his name. Because look at the Maryland quarterback today. I don't know what the score of the Maryland thing is right now.
But I was curious about
that. Talia coming into today before facing Iowa, because this was tonight was their true serum game. Because my brother's been hitting me up like, why is it Maryland ranked? Why is it Maryland ranked? We beat West Virginia, all this type of stuff. And Talia's been playing great, and I think he had like the fourth best odds, and now that's gone probably. What's the score? Because it was like 34-7 at halftime. He had thrown like 4 picks.
Bro, it's 51-14 right now. Still 9 minutes.
51-14. So yeah. So Talia Tagovailoa is out of the conversation. There's people getting eliminated from this discussion.
Spencer Rattler's pretty much eliminated. Not literally, but in my mind, he is. Yeah, it's usually you don't really have a good feel for the Heisman race until about week 5 or 6, anyways.
Yeah, there's a lot of big games that have to happen. Like tomorrow, let's be real. Matt Corral, front and center. Because I want to talk about some of these other games. Matt Corral,
he's at the top of the list right now.
He's at the top of the list, right? But his votes are going to depend on what did you do against Bama.
Absolutely.
Right? And so, I think last year, they put up 47 points on Bama. Yeah. Now, he can – I don't even think he has to win the game. He just has to play very well. If he plays well –
to win the game, really.
And throws for 400 yards and has some touchdowns, and it's just like, oh, you got outmanned by a way better team. Like we've seen, like Lamar Jackson won the Heisman. They won like 8 or 9 games, but his numbers were off the chart. So you can ball. Johnny Manziel won the Heisman. They won 9 games. So
was it when did they only win 9?
Or they probably won more. I'm sorry if I'm shortchanging them.
Yeah.
However many games they won,
they deserve it. Shortchanging them, they deserve it.
They played in the Cotton Bowl that year.
Yeah.
So
I know one of Johnny's years. I don't remember if it was freshman Johnny or sophomore Johnny. I think A&M won 11 games. I could be wrong though.
I think it may have been 11 games, right? Whatever the number was.
Though. Yeah.
But the point is, you can. It doesn't have to be like Joe Burrow every year, where it's just like every single week the guy is
unstoppable. I just realized we got the same hat on today, don't we? All gas, no brakes, baby.
Well, he said, now he could get eliminated tomorrow.
Yeah. I think he'll play well too.
He could get eliminated tomorrow.
Most of the time it is best player on best team, right? So
which is why I would favor Bryce Young right now.
Exactly. Okay, so I was going to get to that for sure. Also, for Ole Miss, if I don't know exactly who they have upcoming on their schedule, but they're going to play a tough schedule rest of the season. So if Ole Miss, regardless of what Matt Corral's doing, if they're out there and they finish the season 6-6, he's not going to win the Heisman. I don't care how good you play. So you still got to have some of that, your team aspect elevating you around you as well, keeping you on the national stage, right? That's a big part as well. Golly, I'm fascinated by Arkansas, Georgia tomorrow. Do we know if KJ Jefferson's healthy?
He's not 100%, but I think he's good to go. And I think Burks got cleared too.
yeah, so I
Traylon Burks.
saw he was playing. One of my good buddies is a couple of them actually are diehard Hogs fans.
Bijan Robinson is another guy who's right there. I'm glad somebody brought this up. If he needs some more touchdowns, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's gonna have some 200s
Yeah,
in conference play.
yeah,
I
he
think
will.
he'll have a couple games where he goes for 200 something.
So what was
With some of the teams we have down the road? He
skill
needs to
position
have consistent
players?
week over week, and he needs to have the receiving numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, Bijan, in the big games, like if he bought, so the key with the running back like Bijan is he's going to have to be the best player on the field against OU.
Right.
Right. The big games where everybody's watching, that people are going to remember that moment, your Heisman moment, or that particular game. It's going to have to be the OU game.
Yep.
And the big marquee. If Oklahoma State is still really, really, if they're still up there by the time we play on October 16th, he's going to have to ball out in that game.
So
those are the ones.
Tomorrow
as well?
Yeah, that's a big start tomorrow. That's what we'll find out a lot. Again, Truth Serum. So I'm looking at Najee Harris's numbers last year because he was obviously in Heisman consideration from a year ago, right? Didn't end up winning it because some dude named Devontae Smith was also on his team. I think you're going to have to look at – so like his numbers from a year ago, he had 1,400 yards on the ground and almost 500 through the air. So you're going to have to – Bijan's going to need to accumulate around 2,000 yards and somewhere in the
total
ballpark
offense
of 30 touchdowns. Yeah, total offense. So he had 30 combined touchdowns and looks like just over 1,900 yards of total offense. So definitely not impossible for Bijan, especially if the offense keeps clicking and, putting up 60 points a week. Like that's obviously going to be very feasible. So it's obviously exaggerating on the point total for a week-to-week basis. I understand that's not going to continue to happen.
What other games we got our eye on this week, guys? So Arkansas, Georgia. I think I talked about this earlier. Shout out to BUSR, wonderful sponsor. I took it at, and I think it said this up top. I took it at 18.5.
Mm-hmm.
I think that line is disrespectful to Arkansas.
I don't think Georgia can score 18 points against Arkansas. I don't. I think both teams. I'll be shocked. I said last week before that game between Arkansas and A&M. I said I'll be shocked if there are 4 combined touchdowns scored in this game. There were 3.
I think it's 48 points.
The total
is the total.
I'd be hammering that under. Hammering it. We saw. Georgia scored 10 points against Clemson. Clemson's not even that good. They're 2-2 right now.
Good point.
And again, I'm not sitting down and watching and breaking down all these games, but just like I don't know. I'm just kind of piecing together. I think this is one of the best defenses I've ever seen in college in my lifetime. I'm 27. Georgia's up there, and they're the only team in the country right now with the blue blood rating higher than Alabama. Like they're the most talented team in America. Period.
Yes.
So
and they had people that I thought were going to go to the NFL that didn't go to the NFL.
They're still there.
Like Jordan Davis. Like
they're still there. Keely Ringo. Everybody in this chat knows who Keely Ringo is.
Keely Ringo is having a Derek Stingley type season right now, and it's like what Sting did a couple years ago.
Yeah,
and it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating because
if there's 48 points scored tomorrow, something's wrong. Like there's Mr. NL 17. That's going to be the final. It'll be something along those lines. 20-10, 17-13. Something like that.
I'm seeing mixed things about JT Daniels. Is he out or is he questionable?
Georgia
Are they already saying JT Daniels is out tomorrow?
Oh, snap. Okay, well then even more reason to hammer the under. You better I'm about
is that
to pop over
a
to
Stetson Bennett game?
Yeah.
Is that crazy. A Stetson Bennett game? I mean, that's interesting.
I got to look this up now because I'm curious. JT Daniels, what do we got?
Tran does love that was his guy.
I know.
That was Tran was from day one. From day one, he was. Let's get all those Arizona guys over here.
Daniels.
Notre Dame, Cincinnati.
That should be an all right game.
I have a little parlay going with between that and
what's up, 40 Acre Addicts? How we doing tonight?
What's good, 40 Acre?
That's a cool name. I like that.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yes, it says he's a game. I'm seeing like 3 different articles: DraftKings Nation, Saturday Down South, and Dog Post. JT Daniels game time decision tomorrow. Wow, this is as of 4 hours ago, so this is new news. I didn't even realize he was potentially questionable.
Working man, Jefferson's gonna play, but we don't know how effective he's gonna be.
Yeah, if he's anything under, like he's a guy that relies a lot on athleticism, right? He's not going to throw the ball 30 times and beat you, especially not against Georgia. He needs to be 100% to give Arkansas a chance. I think tomorrow they're literally petrified of letting who's their backup? What's his name again? Malik Hornsby.
Arkansas.
Yeah, Hornsby.
Malik Hornsby.
They're petrified, scared to death of letting him throw the football last week. And I get it. I get it. Like last week, though? Right? That boy can fly.
He can fly.
Yeah.
But he was so nervous when he got in the game.
Oh, I'm sure.
He was. I was happy he got him to a field goal or something. They got a score while he was in there, but
yeah,
he was He was kind of freaking out a little bit. But you're right. I mean, the coaches also called the game. I'm sure he got a lot more reps this week because KJ is banged up, and they know he needs to be ready to play because when he got in the game against A&M, I personally felt like Malik Hornsby was not ready to play football. Personally.
Right.
Because Arkansas could have made that game ugly. They could have made if KJ was right, the way that thing was humming, they could have made that game ugly. But
there's my boy Alex Copeland right there. He's in the chat. What's up, Cope? He said Georgia doesn't have enough offense to cover the spread against the Hawks. I completely agree. That dude, he knows what he's talking about too. So I will definitely take his opinion on that for sure as verification on my stance. Yeah, man, we might be both heading over to a BUSR and putting in some extra under bets and
some on
the line and the spread.
It's almost as suspicious as last week. That was easy money for me last week because I'm like 61 for Texas and Texas Tech. 61? That's not a
crazy.
You know what I mean? That's
Texas covered that on their own.
Yeah, Texas covered that on their own. I'm like,
yeah,
61.
Cope is a Sooner, by the way. So all my Longhorn fans in here in this chat, y'all make sure.
Oh, it's gonna be fun next week.
Give him some.
That's gonna be fun next week.
Give him some.
You gonna have him on your show?
Absolutely. That's the guy I was referencing earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get to see Alex.
You guys will get introduced to Alex Copeland next week. He's actually coming down for the game too, so it'll be cool. I don't know how we're gonna do it with the setup. I don't have enough firepower with my PC yet. I'm actually still using a MacBook, so I'm in the process of
getting the PC.
Yeah. I'm trying to improve the setup, so I don't know if we'll have it both in person, but we'll figure out a way to get it done.
Hey, shout out to my guys, 48 Acre Addicts. Keep growing your channel out there on YouTube. They got a YouTube channel, so hit them up. Very passionate fans. And I know my boy over there loves BJ Foster. It's a big BJ Foster fan.
Okay.
I'm sure he's happy I said that.
Yep. Hey, man, I'm trying to get on Steven's level. So me and you both, bro, we're working on it. I've been watching Steve since like 2018, I think. So it's honestly, it's really cool to just be on here right now. This is awesome.
Hey, thank you guys. I'm glad you're here. We can go for a few more minutes.
Yeah, whatever you want, man.
Yeah, we're just talking college football in general right now because Michigan, Wisconsin, Paul Chryst. This is a
there you go.
Wisconsin's 1-2. 1-2. Michigan's 4-0. Feel like they're getting better quarterback play now, Jim Harbaugh. It's a big game for
Yeah,
both
yeah. No, it's cool to see
for different
Michigan.
reasons. But you start having conversations about trying to get bowl eligible when you're 1-3. Wisconsin can't go 1-3, so very interesting. Oklahoma State, Baylor. What are y'all's thoughts there? Baylor's 4-0. So the first 3 games are BS.
Yeah,
but if you beat Iowa State, that's legit, in my
that is
opinion.
legit. Yeah,
That's a legit win to me, at least right now.
yeah. No, I agree. Somebody said again, who replaces Thompson tomorrow? I'm assuming they're talking about Josh Thompson. It's going to be a lot of Darian Dunn and maybe some Keaton Crawford. We talked about that earlier.
I'm excited for Darian Dunn to get this opportunity. I mean, he was a young man who was all conference at his level and had some good tape. His Tylan Wallace tape, and hey, get an opportunity to come to a big school like Texas and be showcased. That's a kid who's probably thinking NFL. Like if I do everything these guys ask me to do, I mean, look at Calvin Anderson a few years ago.
Yeah.
Or other guys that have come here, like just trying to make their way, trying to show themselves just a little bit more so that they can get a look, right? And so this is a big spot for Darian Dunn, who, you come to a school where you had 2 incumbents in Josh Thompson and Deshaun Jameson. So getting an opportunity would be interesting.
It will be.
Why'd you say no Cook, though?
Yeah,
Cook's in the nickel now.
He better be playing unless some crazy development just happened.
Highest graded, I think he's our highest graded DB right now.
Yeah, he's manning the slot. He's saying. Okay. Sorry, he's saying no Cook, as in, like replacing Josh Thompson, like kicking him out and then having somebody else slide in. I don't think you move Anthony Cook though. I really don't.
No, you leave Anthony Cook where he is.
He's staying right there.
Yeah, you leave him where he is because his position will be interesting in this game as well, with some of the stuff that TCU does, as well as defending the quarterback run.
Yep.
We'll need him to be right where he is.
Completely agree. Can't say enough about it. By the way, surprise! I mean, we heard about it in camp, right? And a little bit in the summer. He was kind of surging. But it's been nice to see that all that talk be backed up by the play from Anthony Cook. It's cool to see him finally bud into, the player that we recruited him to be. So, and to your other boy that you mentioned earlier, BJ Foster, the fan, I think it was 40 Acre. I hope to continue seeing BJ just maybe have that surge, like finally just figure it all out. Like I want to see that 5-star mentality. I want to see him put it all together. Still got my fingers crossed. We'll see.
Hey, might go come over here to Fort Worth and drop 70 on their heads again.
Let's
go,
playing
bro. Around with y'all.
I'm so ready. I might just pull an all-nighter. I might get to Amon G. Carter at midnight and just sleep in my car. I'm so excited. I haven't been to a live football game like in person, and I couldn't even tell you how long. So I'm gonna lose my voice tomorrow for sure. I hope to come back on this. Maybe we'll sit down again, do a Saturday Night Live post-game chat, and I'll be like, "Yeah, we played good, man. Hook 'em, Horns. We won by 70." That'd be sweet.
Yep. Any other takes? To see everybody's talking about Dunn and the Kevin's. I did see the Kevin Sumlin Jimbo Fisher comparison. Jimbo has some quarterback issues, and Connor Wegman, hopefully that's their answer, either him or when Haynes King comes back. But they, I forgot who it was on Twitter. They did the evaluate, like his quarterback evals, because wasn't Kellen Mond technically Kellen Mond was under Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah, so, he was.
All these other guys that he's had going back to Florida State since Jameis Winston, it's not a good resume for Jimbo Fisher
No,
as somebody who's supposed to be
I don't
a
understand.
quarterback guru.
I don't understand where does that come from? I don't get it.
I mean, what he did, I
I
think
have a
in the early 2000s, and then he got Jameis, and does he get credit for Jamarcus Russell? Was he involved with that?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm talking about at a collegiate level, but
Yeah, I don't know. So that's honestly like before I was old enough to process things. So if we're going to complain about Texas being gone from the national prominence for the last 10 years, then Jimbo Fisher can't get any credit for being a quarterback whisperer if the last thing that he's got going for his name was Jameis Winston and Jamarcus Russell. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I missed what you just said. I'm sorry.
So to me, like if Texas gets, from that fan base particularly, we don't ever hear the end of it from A&M about not being relevant and just being out of the national landscape for the last 10 years or so. Then we can't, if that's true, and if that's the energy that you're going to bring in regards to our program, we can't be hyping up a coach about being a quarterback whisperer if the last thing that he's got, to his name is Jameis Winston.
It's Jameis
and
Winston.
Even going back further than that, Jamarcus Russell. Like, come on, show me something new here. But I mean, I didn't see anything from Kellen Mond as developing from the time he had 1 year with Jimbo or 2. I think 2, right?
3.
3. Okay,
3.
So where was the development there?
It's a good question. I mean, because even with Kellen Mond, I mean, he was solid. He was a good leader. A lot of similarities to Sam Ehlinger, but he like if I look at sophomore year Kellen Mond throwing the football versus senior year Kellen Mond throwing the football, it's not a noticeable difference.
Yeah,
he still was super mechanical and had problems. Like he wasn't a playmaking type quarterback. He was solid. Right. Now they definitely could use a Kellen Mond right now. They'd be fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's actually what they need right now. But now they're seeing, real quarterback issues.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rest of the team's kind of ready to go. Now, they didn't play well against Arkansas in a lot of spots, but the rest of their team is ready to go. They have talent. And it's just like, quarterbacks throwing the ball off people's helmets. Like, bruh. Bruh. Come on.
Yeah. So I just saw somebody say, why am I not seeing the Arkansas versus Georgia game on the betting sites?
Did they pull it?
That's interesting. I wonder.
Man.
Makes you wonder.
That's why I'm glad I got mine in.
You got that 18.5. That's
I got
crazy.
18. I got it at 18.5.
That's crazy. I promise you there will not be 48 points scored in that game either. No question. It's not going to happen.
Unless Vegas knows something I don't. Unless, that's how I felt last week, man. I'm like, unless you guys know 18.5, the way this team has been playing.
It's crazy.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, how much weight is Georgia's performance against Vanderbilt of all teams carrying? Maybe are people really being swayed by that? Because that doesn't mean anything to me.
I don't get it. Like they beat. Look, I know they whooped our ass, but we also dropped 70 on somebody else,
right?
And then A&M had the second. Love to tell you they're the second longest winning streak in the country before they got dealt with. Mm-hmm. And that team that beats both those teams is 18.5 point underdogs.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. So Lando just said because JT Daniels is out, that's why. So they must be pulling it because both quarterbacks have questions. That's got to be it. That's
smart.
100% it.
Well, I'm glad I got in at the number I got in at.
Yeah,
because
man, you should be laughing all the way to the bank tomorrow for sure. Laughing all the way to it. They pulled it.
Yeah, that's
Hold on, I got to send a text message then if that's the case.
They might have been on here listening to us. If there's one thing that I have not brought up in my preview video and on this chat, and I'm gonna bring it up right now before we head out for the night.
1 second. I have the bladder of a 3-year-old toddler. I'm gonna go use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Okay, go ahead. There's one thing that I haven't brought up, and we are not ranked, and you have not heard me bring up the rankings at all, because I am totally fine with. I'm never fine with my team not being ranked. That's not my point. But my point is, under this scenario, I like that Texas has an opportunity to prove it. Let's see it on the road. Let's see what happens, because you can easily come right back in and they put you at 17 in the mid. And I think that could happen if Texas comes out and they look explosive this week, and really handle their business. They'll make sure they're ranked heading into the OU game, no doubt about it. But I'm not super concerned about Texas dealing with not being ranked or things of that sort. That's why I haven't brought it up. If you keep winning, ain't nothing nothing to worry about as we go forward.
So officially, no JT Daniels tomorrow. Is that the consensus?
He said they announced it an hour ago.
An hour ago, huh? That's crazy.
So it's going to be the Stetson Bennett game. See, now a lot of people are going to push Arkansas if JT Daniels is out too.
They will,
like, outright.
They will.
Which I personally don't see, but I just think, almost 3 touchdowns. I don't see that.
No, it's not happening. I wish I could take that to the bank too. Fortunately, I don't have a ton of capital to play with at this juncture. Somebody said we're not ranked in the polls yet. We're number 8 in the power index. I saw that too. I thought that was interesting. I think we had 131 votes. So we're 26th technically right now in the AP poll. So a win tomorrow will definitely solidify that back in comfortably inside the top 25. I would think.
Yeah, Cameron, my bet of the week without question was that Arkansas 18.5 point spread, which is now 16, which has now been pulled, according to everybody on the betting sites that people are going on right now. So one that intrigued me was Duke and North Carolina. I think Duke is playing at North Carolina. Duke's undefeated. And I think it was like plus 700 for Duke. Which was interesting. I think if you took the money line, I think on the money line it was plus 700 for Duke.
That is interesting.
And so just throwing that one out there, if you want to do like a long shot bet. I mean, David Cutcliffe, good coach. No disrespect to Mac Brown, but North Carolina hasn't looked like the same North Carolina to me that we saw last season. So just throwing that one out there if you wanted to take a gander at something else. Any good bets on Texas TCU? I mean, I personally like, based upon my predictions, I like the 5.5 for Texas.
Yep.
I like the where I get dicey with this is the 65 points for the total.
I saw the line. What did the line finish at? I saw it at 4 or 4.5.
Oh, I think it moved again because of Josh Thompson's injury.
Oh, okay. So it went back to 4 then?
I think it went to 4.
Okay. That would make sense. That's a key player out.
Yo, SMU living up here now. I'll be honest with you. I like the way they roll.
Hey man, me too.
I like the way they roll, bro.
For real.
So for people that again, as a new resident member of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, they are plastering their billboards everywhere.
I saw you. Yes, dude, that's crazy, man.
They like and they're on the radio talking their mess. Like they are running ads.
Mm-hmm.
SMU is moving different. And as
Hey.
Tran said, there's a reason why they didn't get a phone call for the Big 12 because the Pony Excess is back in business.
Yep.
Business is booming at
Bro,
SMU.
They don't want SMU showing up and running the show from here on out. People.
Bro,
Hey, I think it might sound crazy. This is going to sound very, very crazy. So don't take this the wrong way. I'm asking a genuine question here. Do people respect SMU in the DFW area right now more than they respect Texas? Honestly.
do they respect SMU more than
The people I talk to, I get nothing but shade from Texas. Like people when they talk about SMU, like they talk about them. I don't know, man. That's weird. I don't mean don't take that question the wrong way. In the DFW area, like we're not in the Houston, Austin area anymore, or you're not anymore. I've never lived there, but I just feel like a lot of people, because I live in TCU country, people love to hate Texas here. So I was just curious, like,
yeah, I have to live here a little longer to get get enough data, if you will.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
I just love the way that SMU just really went after TCU. Like they were like, you know, Dallas is better than Fort Worth, but we're gonna put a billboard in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Pony up in Fort Worth. Like you want to talk about people who are not afraid to be a villain? They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care. And they're handing out bags. Hey, you need an NIL deal?
Mm-hmm.
Bro.
They got money. That's that private school. They have money is not an issue there.
And I just feel like the Big 12, it's so funny. The Big 12 was like, we're not dealing with you.
Mm-hmm.
We're not dealing with you.
Yeah. So Hookem is responding. He said, they hate us because they ain't us. That's it. That's true. That's kind of what I was getting at. But the people I talk to on a daily basis, all my friends, everyone went to either Texas Tech or OU. So I get nothing but hate all the time.
Constant shades. Said the 80s are back.
Yeah.
Legally this time.
Yeah, legally. There you go. They definitely got the cash though, man.
You don't have the guys getting the gold Trans Am anymore. Now SMU, they're all about these billboards and showcasing these kids, man.
In Dallas, that's how it is. Like, I don't know, if you go drive in the downtown Dallas area, I mean, all the different overlapping, you know, freeways and passes and stuff, like those billboards they're visible too. Like you can see, like they're in your face.
You guys will see. So when you guys come up here next weekend, those of you who are coming up to Dallas for the fair and the Cotton Bowl and Texas OU, you'll see what we're talking about with some of these billboards.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're not playing around.
No, they're not playing. Which is kind of cool. It's awesome. It's honestly a cool dynamic. I wish TCU and SMU were in the same conference for that reason. But they brought the smoke to Fort Worth, that's for sure.
No,
I hope we do the same.
They definitely did. But that's you know, if you really want to go and just whoop somebody's ass and you're inspired. I mean, they showed up to M&G Carter Stadium and planted that damn flag, bro.
They planted the flag, man.
You know, they were like, look, we're not playing with you.
You gonna feel me before I leave here.
Oh man,
tomorrow. I'm freaking pumped.
Everybody feels confident about Bama Ole Miss. It sounds like. I think the question is how well does Matt Corral play in that game? But I don't see anybody taking Ole Miss outright. Is there any of you in the comments that want to dive into
taking Ole Miss?
Let's take an Ole Miss.
Well, Cope did text me. Let me read his text again. I don't know if he's even still in the chat anymore. He said, I haven't caught if y'all talked about Ole Miss or Bama, But my lock of the week is the under on that total, 79.5.
Ooh, it's 79.5.
Mm-hmm. That's what he said.
They're probably going off of last year's game because last year's game got
Last year,
reckless.
what was it? There was 90 combined points scored in that one,
I
wasn't
think
there?
it was more than 90.
Maybe 100. Yeah, it was a shootout.
Mm-hmm. We got somebody taking Ole Miss. Prop bet 3 interceptions from Corral.
That's a prop. Oh my gosh, that's disrespectful. Hey, Corral got the sauce though. I like watching that dude play. Sonny Dykes, what a dude. Actually met him last year. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool
From
guy.
what I'm seeing with Matt Corral, I think he's going to play well.
Mm-hmm. I bet he does too.
He's also playing for money for the NFL because right now, I think he'd be QB1 because Spencer Rattler.
Yeah,
That's what I was again.
saying.
I'm not talking about. I don't want to talk about anything OU related until after we handle our business because I have a lot to say about that situation.
Yeah, me too.
I have a lot to say about it, but
I can't wait though. That's gonna be.
He's not QB1 right now.
No.
So Matt Corral can slide in. Sam Howell's not QB1 right now. I mean, how many first-round quarterbacks are there even? It might just be Matt Corral because Bryce Young's not eligible.
What about Sam Howell from North Carolina? You see a first-round projection?
I don't see it right now, man.
I don't either. I saw it last year. I was excited about him this year, last year, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's definitely been a fall
I'm not
off.
spending a first-round pick on him.
What's
from
that?
what I see. This quarterback draft class, like,
yeah,
this ain't it.
Shit, maybe Casey Thompson's QB1 when it's all said and done. I wouldn't be. I mean, it's not out of the range of outcomes for sure.
Lane Kiffin does. I do believe this. He got a playbook just for Bama.
He sure does. He damn sure does. That stuff is real, guys. Like that.
I agree with that.
That stuff is real. And guess what? Steve Sarkisian has a playbook just for OU too. But yeah, so Lando says Sam Howell is a first-round projection. I thought so.
I think Malik Willis can go in the first round. I agree. The quarterback from Liberty, who was at Auburn, they dropped that ball. I don't because they got into the Bo Nix business. Shout out to TJ Finley. He finished that game for Auburn last week.
Yeah,
and they had to have the miracle comeback.
Crazy, bro.
Hold on. So I do have a question about Arch Manning, and I'm not trying to throw any type of shade. So I saw a video of him from one of his, I think it was his last game last week. And the comment said Arch Manning is showing the haters what's up or shaking the haters off or something like that. Who's hating on Arch Manning?
Not a soul from what I can tell.
I just don't understand some of the comments sometimes. Like, that was the caption. It was like Arch Manning shaking off the haters. I'm like,
yeah, we live in a clickbait world, man.
Isn't he the consensus number one everything? What are you like? What are we talking about?
Yeah,
who's hating on him? And I thought this was interesting too, because I think the thing with Arch that is settling for coaches is his floor. The floor with him is safe.
Yeah.
Right? Even if he's not Eli or Peyton Manning, I know his floor is a really, really good college quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And then the upside is he's literally Eli or Peyton.
Yeah.
Right?
Literally.
So that's what's so enticing is like his floor and up it's great. I will say though, who the hell were they playing last week? Those kids look so small.
Tiny, man.
Like, I saw him truck a kid. He looked like the guy, the little boy that got killed by the bees in My Girl, Thomas, where he got run over. He ran over the little boy, and then he's carrying literally kids on his back and stuff. And I'm looking at the size of these guys. I'm like, what team is this? Is it Newman? Who are you playing? Is this your
Yeah,
JV team? Like those, I'm telling y'all, if y'all haven't seen the video of Arch, he was carrying like 10 dudes on his back.
I haven't even seen that. I
Oh,
haven't even
dude,
seen that video.
look at the team they were playing. They looked so small.
Yeah,
Like he was like the biggest person on the field. I'm like, this is like video where I'm not even like,
he's at a
come on.
private school, isn't he? Is that it,
It looked like they were. Hold on, where is this?
what do you say? Look like someone's
He said,
backyard.
"Oh, wait, they're playing
Yeah.
somebody's backyard." Y'all go see that. Y'all go see that. Yeah, dude looked like the dude that he trucked looked like Macaulay Culkin. When he ran up on him.
Question mark. That's so fun. Hey, that private school ball. Yeah. I don't
Absolutely.
even. I'll have to do some digging on some research on that school that they were playing, whoever it was last week. But I'd be curious to see that video too. If you have do you have it like on Twitter or something? You can drop a retweet on it or send it in the group chat. Something.
I'll play it here in a sec. I saw this comment here and thank you. It's meaningful for us too.
That's a really cool message, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you
man.
guys.
No, seriously, the feeling's mutual. It goes both
Absolutely.
ways. I had a rough day today at work. I had a rough day. That's why I didn't get word out about this earlier. Because I asked Landon yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm in." And I had no time. Like I was just getting frustrated with stuff. It was a rough day. But as soon as we get on here, you know, it's dope. I don't know what happened to Landon. He took his flowers and bounced. He'll be back. But it's really meaningful. It's really meaningful. So thank you for this comment. Um, we were laughing. We were cutting up about
About that, man.
Nah, you good. I'm sorry, we over 2 hours. This might be the longest live we've ever done.
Bro, it feels like it's been 10 minutes. I ain't even lying to you.
There's still 140 people in here. So if you're still in here, smash the like and sign up for
Yeah.
BUSR, official sportsbook and betting partner, Fanatic Perspective. Really enjoying this. And we're just talking. We're just,
Yeah, literally, Steve, you hit me up yesterday. I think I heard you saying that right before it cut out. You literally just said, let's just hop in and just talk about wherever the chat takes us. Whatever you guys want to hit on, what's on y'all's mind. It's important to us too. That's my favorite part about this whole thing. First of all, like I just love engaging with people, members of the community, and just seeing different perspectives. It's cool. That's how I learn as well. I learn a lot from you guys. So it's fun. Who we got? I had a rough week. I'm a substitute teacher, and I found a kid that watches FP, and we had a wonderful conversation about how awesome you and the guests you bring on are. That's awesome.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
man, I substitute teach as well, so I know how difficult that can be. If that's part of your or part of the reason that's contributing to your rough week, man, I can attest firsthand. It is not easy to do. So all our teachers out there, my wife was one of them. She used to be, anyways. It's a tough world. It's with kids, everybody is more engaged in their phones and what's happening, outside of your classroom these days. I get how tough that can be. So thank you to all of our teachers and substitute teachers who are out there grinding and trying to instill education in our youth, the future leaders of our country. That stuff's important. So appreciate that. Substitute teaching world is not easy, but it can be fun at times too. I love impacting kids, so I understand the demand for it is necessary.
Love you too, Nathan. You owe me lunch, by the way. I know you're around here somewhere.
I think I saw him say he's in the DFW area earlier.
Yeah, he is, and he's also working. He's also working with Mr. NL that you guys see here. He also works with kids. So,
yep.
You owe me lunch, and I'm messing with you. Somebody said bring Arch to play North Shore. Hey, they played one of those teams in the Louisiana area last year, and they on the team they played on ESPN. They weren't terrible, but it was just a particular team. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. What I'm talking about. We can just play the clip real quick. I don't think that's a problem. Lando, you want to take the Cowboys question?
Where we got? How do we feel about the Cowboys defense this season? Do you guys think they have the ability to be a top 10 D? Well, I'll tell you this. Not enough sample size yet to really say for certain, but Steve and I were talking about the depth is crazy. The speed the defense is playing with, we've already got 10 guys registered 19 miles per hour on the advanced metrics, the GPS system, the tracking system that they're using. There's definitely improvement. Like, so we see the defense has improved. You can see the speed is the number one thing that jumps off of the tape for me from what I've seen. I'm still waiting to get. I've bought the all 22 package on the NFL Game Pass, but they still haven't released the full access to it to the public. So I'm going to be able to do a lot more in-depth content hopefully soon once they release that to me. So I've purchased it. Just can't see everything now from the all 22 angle the way the better scouts and things of that nature in the world can. But I'll tell you for sure, I know for a fact that Dan Quinn is one of the top 10 best defensive coordinators in the NFL today. And he actually has a Super Bowl to show for that. Most people, I don't know if you do or don't know. He was basically spearheading the Seattle Seahawks defense during their Super Bowl run there. Whenever he was with Pete Carroll on his staff, so he was
Johnny
responsible
Tapia,
for
no, you're not.
The Legion of Boom. But yeah, man. So what did he say? My Panthers are beating the Cowboys on Sunday.
No, you're not.
It's not happening, but it's going to be a fantastic test, and I don't think enough people are given enough credit to what the Panthers do defensively. They're one of the better run Ds in football already,
and they got hella pass rushers too.
Hella pass rushers. I'm nervous about Daquan Jones. Tell me what you think about Daquan Jones, Tommy or Johnny Tapia, especially against Tyler Biadasz. He's a liability to me, and that's going to be one of the things that I focus on.
Yeah, the Eagles put that on film with Hargraves.
They did, absolutely.
What he was doing to him.
He runs that tilted nose technique, and that's something that the Panthers defensive coordinator kind of has instilled and helped make a name for himself with. The tilted nose, basically, what it does is it makes it very, very tough so when you're running he'll face the strong side with that tilted nose. So he's literally angled himself. So like if the football's here, he's almost cockeyed at a 45-degree angle. So he makes it very, very difficult to try to keep it short, because I know it's like I'm describing things when you can't see it on film, for reach blocks. So it's like if the pulling right guard and zone stretch scenarios in the run game, it makes it very, very, very difficult for that guard that's pulling in a zone blocking scheme to get across, to get his face and cut off that gap. And the same thing is true for the center. He has the responsibility of not only snapping the football, but also getting to the opposite side on runs that are headed to the right or into the face of the tilted nose. So that's been given opposing offensive lines problems. So Daquan Jones there, that's going to be one of my key feature matchups for tomorrow, for Sunday's game for the Cowboys, is Daquan Jones against Tyler Biadasz. That's something that we're going to have to pay very close attention to.
It's going to be interesting too to see Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah,
back there.
Yeah,
our old friend. I have a lot of respect for Matt Rule. I was listening to his press conference today.
Everywhere he goes,
I have a lot of respect for Matt Rule and Joe Brady. Yep. But I was watching Matt Rule's press conference, and I love what he had to say about Dak Prescott. And
I didn't even see it. What did he say?
Yeah, so he basically was like, what Dak is doing at the line of scrimmage. He was like, he is controlling. It's like his orchestra, and his ability. Like he was like, you can tell. Not only does he have a complete command of the offense, but he brought up the fact that snap to pass, Dak's I think second in the league right now, getting the ball out of his hands.
I did see that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the
So
first is Tom Brady, if I'm not mistaken.
he wasn't just like, oh, we're playing a good quarterback. You know how like the typical coach speak, but like he actually had good,
he provided some statistics,
right, insight.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have the Arch Manning video up here for anybody that wants to see it.
I do.
Because why not? So let's bring that up. And hold on.
Yeah, Johnny, y'all schedule looking forward to for the Panthers. Like you guys could be looking at 8-2 after through 10 weeks.
I'll make it big. I'm gonna take the chat away so it can be
let me
bigger.
see this.
First of all, so look at this blue team here. Look at this. Look at this. This is just.
Oh my goodness, bro!
Look at this.
What?
Like, who are these guys?
Yo, he's actually bigger than everyone on their defensive line.
He's bigger than everybody on the field.
Who are they playing?
Are you kidding me?
Bro,
Look
safety. Man. Get bigger. Get bigger. Yo. Boom. He bounced off his knee pad. Oh, he said weight room.
Bruh.
Watch this right here. Weight room. Oh my goodness, Arch.
That's Arch. That's not KJ Jefferson.
Chill out, Arch.
Arch out here.
These kids have families. They have friends. They have girls. They're trying to get a hot date, man. You out here embarrassing these kids.
Somebody said Arch out here playing Bishop Sycamore.
That safety just lost his homecoming date.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like
Bishop Sycamore. I was trying to think of that earlier. I had a funny punchline, but I couldn't remember the damn name of the high school.
Is this the same team they were playing? I think we got more highlights.
Yeah, so any team in the NFC South that has the good fortune of being matched up with the NFC East this year, you guys get to play the Redskins. Well, the Washington football team. They're always going to be the Redskins to me. And then obviously the Giants and Eagles got a good shot to win a lot of football games. We'll just put it that way. I actually have the Panthers schedule pulled up here just while we're on this topic. No, most people don't care, but
I think this is the these kids are.
So, and for their next 6 games, oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness.
What grade are these kids?
You see, like, okay, so you see the ball skills though, like the Arch plays with some. He's a better athlete than both of his uncles by far.
Yeah, he got Cooper's athleticism.
He did.
Cooper was a receiver.
He did.
Who was his father?
But like you see him, like he's out there, like he's shoulder shimmying on his ball fakes. He's spinning the football around, which that'll get coached out of him.
9. Did you see that kid?
Running back.
Look at this.
Oh yeah.
That's not a high schooler.
Man, okay, so I will say this. I am shocked, and I know I was
look
a 5'9"
with the red sleeve.
Yeah, that dude's little. But look at Arch's offensive line though. Those guys don't look like high schoolers either. It's crazy.
All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
I'm trying not to be harsh on these kids. Because I was a 5'3", 80-pound freshman in high school too, so I feel their pain. All right, but there is hope. You can grow. I grew a foot and gained 150 pounds since then. So there is there is a chance. You have hope, kids.
That I agree, Rob. He's still A+ recruit. That's not. But in terms of the stats and like when you're playing, like that's not getting you ready for college.
No, not even close.
Like, those kids are tiny.
Not even close.
But we know what he can do.
Yep.
Somebody said, "Yeah, you watch a 6A football game. It's like college.
Speaking of which, we need to link up for a couple of those this year too. Me, you, and Homer, and whoever else is in the area.
Completely agree.
I would love to do that. We talked. Homer and I talked about it a little bit.
A lot of great schools. I'm right down the street. You know, Martin,
South Lake's in the area. Duncanville's in the area.
Yeah.
A lot of good competition. Yeah, the Panthers, man, they play for their next 6 games. They have the Giants, Eagles, Patriots, and Falcons. At least 3 of those games should be wins. I think they're better than the Patriots too, but we'll see. By then, Mac Jones could start to click. It's November 7th. Those traits tend to translate over a longer period of time when you don't bring physical traits to the table, kind of at an elite level of whether that be speed, athleticism, arm strength. Like if you're just like a mental traits guy, like Mac Jones, he's kind of like trying to process everything, seeing the change in speed of the game. That's a huge adjustment, and that takes time. And there's going to be growing pains, as we've already seen. So we shall see.
So somebody told me to look up Edna Carr, and I did. These brothers look serious.
Who's Edna Carr?
It's a high school in looks like in New Orleans.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me see. These are the dudes we need to see Arch going up against. Where's my thing?
The Monstars.
Yeah, somebody in the
Edna
comments.
Carr. That just sounds like a dynasty high school.
Edna Carr.
Yeah.
All right, y'all check out these guys. They look like pit bulls. I know this is 2019, but this is
okay. Yeah, I've seen these guys. I've seen them before. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they
real.
That's how Duncanville and some of the real
Soto.
dogs at the high school football level.
So didn't Lamar Jackson go to Edna Carr, or am I dreaming that?
Nah, he went to somewhere in Florida.
That's right. He's a Florida kid. Okay, well they have the same high school uniforms then, the same exact colors. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, they do. They do.
You know what I'm talking about? That video of Lamar, like where he kind of like backstep jukes that dude in the corner of the end zone, and he just like walks in and he holds the ball like this and he starts wagging his finger. I remember that vividly. Oh yeah, I got it pulled up right here now. They're purple, yellow, and black.
Yeah. Oh, I love all the high school football people coming in here now. Arch couldn't do that against Longview. Arch couldn't do that against Carthage. I love it. Y'all are so proud of y'all schools. I love it.
Man, there is nothing like just being in a high school football atmosphere on Friday night. I love it.
Yeah, we got to end this. I agree. Yeah, I noticed ever since we got the Kansas State. We remember Kansas State used to be a thing too. Yeah. Ever since we beat them, that hasn't been a problem since. Nobody's scared to go to Manhattan anymore.
Definitely not me. I spent 5 years in college in the state of Kansas, so I love going up there and whooping on them Kansas boys. That's fun. I was there 2 years ago for that Manhattan. That was one that Deshaun Jameson had one of his infamous return touchdowns there that game. That was a good one.
Just got a subscriber, Lando.
Heck yeah, man. Who? Carter, W.R. Carter. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Welcome to the family. And my content's going to continue getting better too. Like I said, learning from guys like Steve and Homer and all those boys taking me under their wing. Finally in the new house with the new setup and getting technology better. I got a new PC, hopefully in the works very soon, so it'll make my processing speed faster, so I can bring some more disembodied film with actual film study to some more of my videos. So I got some big things planned, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Shout out to our friends at Texas Platinum.
They in here?
Yep.
What's up, TP?
What's good? What's good, boys? Um, see
That's
now, Nathan. We got our San Antonio people chiming in.
Converse
You know,
Judson. Is that a high school in San Antonio?
San Antonio, yeah,
That's a
they're.
cool name.
Mm-hmm.
Converse Judson.
It's them. Another school, Cibolo Steel,
Okay, I
where
know exactly who
Caden
Cibolo
Stearns
Steel
came
is.
from,
Yep.
and Jalen Jones came from there too. Who's at A&M? And I got on Caden Stearns. I'm like, how come you didn't bring little bro to Texas with you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I really wanted Jalen Jones when he came out of high school, but he's at A&M. What else we
I'm
got?
still hot on Devin Campbell, man. I want him out of Longview to stay in Burnt Orange. Please, goodness, Lord, let this man end up on the 40 acres. You like Devin Campbell? I know you do.
Oh, yeah.
DC.
And I think that's a good get, especially with what you already have.
Yeah.
With Connor Robertson. I just like the type of guys that bring. I mean, Flood loves size.
Mm-hmm.
He's very, very open about that, right? And you have to. This is starting to become what he kind of envisions for his offensive line.
Yep.
And now that the more time he gets with the current offensive line, he can start to identify what type of traits, but you got to bring in, offensive lineman. That's where you got to try to do. If you
And
want
that's
to be hitting on
where
elite guys,
even when Texas was bringing in top 5 classes, like we got a couple of them, right? But all the headline names in those classes were defensive backs. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like you got to have that. But until you can get pressure consistently on the quarterback, then, elite coverage only lasts for a couple seconds at most, like 3.2 seconds or whatever it is, 2.8, something like that, whatever it is. And I've heard you preach about this too. And it's one of the things that I love hearing you talk about because we see eye to eye exactly on it. You win in college football at the highest level on the national stage in the trenches, period. And that's been one of the areas of our recruiting that's been lacking. So Devin Campbell would be a nice start towards riding that train, man.
like there's certain things like when people play
Arlington Bowie. I said Longview. That's my bad on that. Thank you for the correction, Rob.
when people play Alabama. And I remember this a while ago. I think it was when they played. I think it was Michigan State. Like there's certain games or certain matchups. It's a non-starter for you to be in the game because your line's getting mauled by their line.
Yeah,
period.
Absolutely.
Because the games. I remember people used to be talking about a guy named Connor Cook, and then they couldn't even score.
Yeah,
right.
Connor
Like
Cook.
it,
Talking about the quarterback.
He was a quarterback for Michigan State.
For Michigan State, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And fun story: the Cowboys wanted to draft him.
Dude, I was just about to
instead
say
of Dak Prescott. By the way,
about to say that.
Thank God.
Can you imagine? People think Jerry Jones has, the final say, which he does in a lot of areas. But if this was really Jerry's team, like Stephen Jones kind of runs the show now a lot more, like especially it's just as far as the roster construction goes. But could you imagine, like, where would this franchise be right now? How much worse would it have been in the last 5 to 8 years had Jerry got his way on some of the quarterbacks that he really, really was hot pursuing? Think about it. Johnny Manziel was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The dude from Memphis, they tried to trade up for him to get him in the first round of
Paxton Lynch.
Paxton Lynch.
That's where I was getting. They were trying to trade up to get Paxton Lynch in the first round.
Yeah, there's video of Jerry in the war room saying, we got to go get this guy. There's literally video of that. But somebody, I think it was it the Broncos that drafted him at 17 or something like that? I think that's who it was.
Maybe later. I don't know if they drafted him at 7. They drafted him. That was when they were into taking the big quarterbacks. They drafted they liked Osweiler. You remember Brock Osweiler? Yeah, and then they took Paxton Lynch, and he started crying on the bench. That's why I knew his career was over.
Yep.
In the middle of the game.
Okay, 26th overall. Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, there's a long-winded way of saying when you play Bama, and now it's evolved a little bit more. It's more of an offensive spread out game, but still trench warfare.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be in the game if you can't at least hold up against stalemates. You're not
Just
even
watch
in the
Georgia
game.
tomorrow. Just watch Georgia tomorrow. You'll see.
And that's going to be fascinating because I think Arkansas has gotten so much better up front themselves. And Sam Pittman used to be Georgia's offensive line coach, and he's getting this whole hog mentality. So I think it's fascinating. But when you watch Jordan Davis move, and those big boys that Georgia has,
Yep, you'll see. It'll be on full display tomorrow. Trust me.
Yeah.
Cowboys eating in the first round, but starving after that. Got to start hitting some of those later on. Well, we hit on a pretty decent quarterback in the first round or in the fourth round. I consider that a late pick. Got himself paid this year too, by the way.
Oso
Digizua. Yes, sir. Quentin Bohanna.
That was a hell of a third round pick for the Cowboys.
Or how about the fact that the Cowboys were ready to take Trevon Diggs at 17 overall? Got a first round grade on him. Got him at 51. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
How good is this? I mean, great to meet you too, Carter. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to explore your content.
Absolutely. We're about to wrap up here. I said that an hour ago, but this has been everybody's talking. Oh, last I'll make one more announcement, but sign up BUSR, official sponsor, BUSR.com. Thank you, Carter. Have a great night. Hope to see you again, my friend.
Peace out, Carter. Enjoy the game tomorrow, bro.
We're doing a contest. It's not official yet, but part of the contest is you need to be on BUSR, so sign up. Official sportsbook. And y'all asked me a whole bunch of betting questions tonight, so hopefully you're betting
that was fun.
on our
I
website.
Enjoyed that. That was fun.
Let me see here. What was I gonna say? Where was I going? Yeah, I mean, no, this is great. This is great for us to just to talk. Definitely got an early morning tomorrow, but it's gonna be fun. I can't wait to meet more of you guys out and about, whether it's in the concourse of the stadium or parking lot, pregame, tailgate, whatever. So just really cool to be around everybody and get everything. Kyle Witherspoon said final score prediction. So
we got to do that.
Yeah. So my prediction, I'm not going to move off. The official prediction I gave was a close game.
Okay.
I had it at 30-23, but I also had weather factored into my prediction. I do think the score, if there's no rain or it's not wet by the time they kick off and they're fine, then I think that number goes up. But right now I'll stay at 30-23. I mean, and the only reason, again, just the uncertainty with the DBs on our side, and some questions that I have, and I also want to see. I want to see Casey Thompson pass this test on the road. I want to see this offensive line hold up the way that they look, especially last week. Can they travel? Because the offensive line against knows that's coming back. They've got edge guys. They got Mathis out there. Want to see how these guys, they're going to get tested, the offensive line. Now, you have somebody who can move, that can almost bail you out of blocking, but you don't want that to have to be the case consistently, because Gary Patterson will eat you up in that scenario. So we'll see. What's your prediction?
I will say, I mean, I agree with your assessment on the weather kind of impacting the score, but I still think, I've said it, I'll be bold with it. I think Texas wins big. I don't think Casey Thompson doesn't need dry conditions to score a lot of points. This offense doesn't need dry conditions to score a lot of points. I think Texas, a wet football game favors Texas tremendously, just because of the depth they have at that position, at the running back position. I don't know. I in my head, I have it like 37-17, something like that. I'll probably just stick with that score. But again, Texas wins comfortably. I expect it to be a 2-touchdown affair at the very least. So 37-17 will be my final prediction there. But
37-17.
Yeah, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
That's comfortable for sure.
It is. It's very comfortable and it's bold. But again, I'm trying not to be wishy-washy here. So I'm going with my gut. We'll see.
I like it.
And I've been pretty accurate too with my Cowboys and Texas predictions. I missed the opener with Louisiana by 3 points. I had the what was the final score of that game?
I was close on my Louisiana one too.
Mm-hmm. I think it was what? I don't even remember the final score now. It's been 4 weeks.
I think it was 38-18 or something like that.
Okay, yeah, I had it 38-21 was my final score. That's what it was. I missed it by 3 points. So I don't know. We'll see, man. 37-17 is what I got.
So if you guys are going to be out there, make sure and you see us, make sure you say what's up. Some of y'all send me a DM after the game talking about I saw you and I didn't say what's up. I'm like, well, I'm a very friendly guy.
Yeah,
Lando's a very friendly guy.
Yeah, man, come up and give me a hug. I'll hug you right back.
Yeah. And Homer will be there too. So if you want to meet Homer, I'm
excited to see Homer again too.
Texas Homer, he's coming. Me and him are watching the game together tomorrow. So if y'all see us, say what's up. We're gonna sign off. Landon, I appreciate you. Make sure you guys, all you guys that enjoyed the conversation, our longest ever live chat. So Landon set the record.
Let's go, man.
Follow him on Twitter. Subscribe to his YouTube channel.
I'll follow you guys back. I'll follow back on Twitter.
Hit that sub button and go show his channel some love. And he's also doing, got stuff going on IG. He's flashing content everywhere. So it's that's what we're doing over here, right? And vibing, collabing, and talking as friends.
That's what we love to do.
Yes, sir.
Not changing anytime soon either, for sure. So.
All right. Thank you to our sponsor, busr.com/Fanatic. Go check out the site. Contest coming soon. Details coming. Guys, I appreciate y'all so much. Let's go get a dub tomorrow. We may not have our voices post-game, but we'll be here.
All gas, no brakes, baby. Let's go.
Guys, remember, horns always up.
Horns always up.
Always up.